Hello and welcome back to Serie, a Spotlight. We're your hosts Jake
and Matt.
You know what time it is!
I can't tell you guys enough how much you've been my internal monologue when thinking about football for the last year.
Yes! Amazing! We get to record while drinking some wine. Jake and I will have a very special soft spot for Salernitana.
We love him.
We love him. Stop zooming in on Allegri's face, bro. You're gonna make
How
me
are you
break.
exposing me?
Because you're gonna make me break, right?
Hello and welcome back to yet another episode of Serie A Spotlight. We're your host Jake
And Matt,
here to take you through all the action in Matchday 6 in Serie A.
We will be starting off with the biggest game of the week, which has become a bit of a snooze fest over the past few years. It is another 0-0 draw between Juve and Milan, but there was a lot of action to talk about, including a terrible penalty by Pulisic where he completely missed the target, two huge misses by Rafael Leao as he re-entered the pitch after an injury, and a huge save by Mike Maignan on Gatti, which has to be the save of the week. Albeit there were some mental saves this week as well, but perhaps not the return Allegri wished to the Allianz Arena, but a point that Milan would be proud of as well. Fiorentina 1, Roma 2. It was actually a decent showing by Pioli's men. Fiorentina look much improved in this formation. Moise Kean did score his first goal of the season, but not enough to beat Roma. A Roma that have 5 wins in 6 games now. Goals that come from Sule and Cristante. Inter 4, Cremonese 1, and there is only one way to describe this game, and it is the Boni show, because his first start of the season resulted in his first goal, and he just so happened to rack up 3 assists as well in that game. The perfect partner for Lautaro Martinez, at least in this match against Cremonese. A very informed Lautaro Martinez as well, who is once again on the score sheet. Game of the week is up after that. Lazio 3, Torino 3. The equalizer for Lazio did come in the 103rd minute after Torino got a 93rd minute goal, which they thought would win them the game. It was Saul Coco that scored that goal, and then Saul Coco that gave away the penalty, which Lazio converted. Amazing game of football. Can't wait to get to that one.
The scenes when Torino scored were amazing. It's short-lived, but amazing.
It's almost a guaranteed win when you score the winning goal in the 93rd minute, right?
Yeah.
Atalanta 1, Como 1. This was the, not Perrone show, but Perrone was the main character, right? Yep. Lookman came back, but Perrone did clear the ball off the line, and then he scored an absolute bizarre goal, which was definitely meant to be a cross. Shout out to Goal Line Technology for making a feature, and that one's been a while.
Yeah. True.
Bologna 4, Pisa 0. After that, Pisa did get an early red card through Toure, and after that was simply all Bologna. Great game once again by Orsolini, but the man that stood out over here was Cambiaghi. Cambiaghi, who got called up for the national team recently and just had a spectacular week, the young Italian. Hellas Verona 0, Sassuolo 1. The only goal did come from a Pinamonti penalty rebound, so not very exciting over there, but that is 2 wins in a row for Sassuolo, who are starting to show their colours this season. Parma 0, Lecce 1. Lecce do get their first win of the season right after Parma got their first win of the season last week. Parma absolutely dominated this game, as they typically tend to do, but they failed to put the ball in the back of the net from open play. Sotil was the man on target. He is on form. This goal was an absolute fluke, however. Udinese 1, Cagliari 1 is the game that we'll be ending things with, and this was one of the messiest games of football I've seen, even more than Juve and Milan, surprisingly, particularly due to 2 huge misses, one by Zaniolo and one by Bayo. I thought Leao's was a bad miss. Then I watched the highlights of this game. I'm like, Leao's fine, he can get away with it.
All the comments are screaming match fixing. The misses were so bad. Yeah.
Okay.
Because both chances had Cagliari defenders slipping.
Ah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, but what a save it was by Caprile.
Yeah, amazing.
One of the misses.
Amazing. And
insane.
he had a great save as well on a deflected shot by Atta. that was looping
yes,
over
yes,
him, and he
man.
extended back and tipped it over.
Insane. I'm such
Yeah.
a fan of Caprile.
He's good, huh? And we used to think that Cranio was like that. Couldn't
Right.
get much better than Cranio, but
Right.
Caprile has shown that there's a new star in town. for Cagliari.
Absolutely. Let's start with our goal of the week, King, before we get into anything. It was tough this week because there were some absolute
Yeah.
bangers. Just to name a few, of course.
We have both Cancelleri's goals were amazing for Lazio. Shea Adams had a great goal as well, first touch. Di Marco had a lovely goal. Perrone's goal, of course, although unintentional,
Yeah.
was a great goal.
That was cool.
Moise Keane scored a lovely goal, an absolute rocket cutting inside, even though Indica was literally covering that
Yeah.
channel. Like, he gave him a split-second chance, and he took it, Keane, and smashed it past the keeper. Sule's goal was lovely after Dovbik's flick,
Yeah,
and then he
very-
curled it into
Very
the top corner.
trademark, so that was.
Absolutely. And then, of course, Jeff Ekator's goal was also lovely after Norton Coffey beat his man. It was Oliveira, I believe. He just knocked it past him
Yeah.
and then squared it to Ekator, who had a split second of improvisation to backheel it into the back of the net.
Yes, I went for Cancelleri's first goal just over Keane's goal. They're very similar in the way that it's a powerful shot from outside the area after having some work to do on the ball. I did think Cancelleri had more to do off the ball because he was between two players and he cut inside superbly. And I just thought that when the keeper gets a hand to the ball, it kind of takes away from the goal a little bit because you'd always think the keeper could have done better. In Cancelleri's goal, no keeper was stopping that.
Yeah. Of course, Keane's shot was an absolute rocket, but I do understand your sentiment. I also like how Cancelleri's chop, so the ball kind of perfectly weighted. Like, he put enough
Yeah.
weight on the ball to tee it up perfectly to get him away from both defenders, and then he curled it on his stronger foot as well. What a goal!
Yes, sir. Yes,
What a
sir.
goal.
Yes, sir. What did you go for, my
For
king?
me, I went for Jeff Ekator's goal.
Fuck yeah.
Lovely goal, good work by Norton Coffey, great bit of improvisation, and he is only 18 years old, and he's the youngest player since Andrea Pirlo to score away against Napoli in Serie A at just 18 years old and 328 days.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Jeez. It's soon his birthday.
Yeah.
Soon we should mark it in the calendar so that I could milk the fuck out of it if he scores. Shout out to everyone else that scored an amazing goal. But anyway, before we get into the show, shout out to Benevo Bid, our media partners. Check out our link in bio to bid on autographed items from top players, including match-issued kits. Most of the proceeds go to charity, so buy your loved one some signed football merch, guys.
Look at that.
Absolutely.
Zanetti was here.
Literally. And if you don't believe them, check out their Instagram. There are videos of Zanetti, Grosso, the likes signing off these kits. And if you're new here, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube, and rate us 5 stars on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, with weekly episodes covering every single match, every single team, every single week, and even have a weekly segment named Tactics Imperium by our football analyst Gianluca Lia. If you really love us, become a patron. It's $3.99 a month. You'll be added to a Discord channel with 50 plus like-minded legends with multiple channels for different discussions, and you can even win a free kit if you win our fantasy league. We do have a new patron.
Yes. And you know him definitely better than I do.
Yes, and I love
his
him.
name is Lucas/Lucas. We weren't sure what
Yeah.
to go for, so we'll go for both.
I'm going to call you Lou this
Lou.
weekend because
Lou.
I'm getting drunk with him this weekend.
Yes?
I'm going to be
What's
joined
the
to his hip.
occasion?
We have a party that some of the guys at work are organizing. It's called Casinata. We rented a villa and everything, open bar.
Nice.
It's gonna be fun as balls. If you're not invited, forget it, guys. It's just gonna be us. But
I
Juve
wasn't
fan,
invited either, guys.
We
no.
should be taking some voice notes from him, etc. He's a very well spoken Juve fan. I wish we watched the game with him. He's a top guy. So
Yeah, we can always make that happen.
yeah, so shout out Lucas, welcome to the family, and thank you for your $3.99 a month. It's also funny to mention he became a patron because I bullied him into it. So Adam, my colleague, was like Lucas is your number one fan. He's the podcast's number one fan. I'm like, he's not my number one fan. We've got 50 plus patrons, patrons that contribute to the show to help us make all of this happen on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
He met me right after work because we're having drinks. And just with his phone in front of me like that, clicks become a patron in front of me. What
That's
a
amazing,
legend,
guys.
man.
Yeah, so if you currently think that you are the number one fan of Serie A Spotlight, but you're not a patron, turns out you're not.
Give us the money.
Yes, please, let's keep improving the show. We've made leaps and bounds since we first started, since episode 1, which was, of course, audio only. It wasn't even up on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
And then eventually we were making our videos with one angle, basically. Very boring,
Yeah.
just one angle on us with an iPhone. Now,
we're
of
getting
course,
20 views every YouTube video.
yeah. Now, of course, we're improving, and the only way is up.
Yep, absolutely. That is, by the way, 2,000 plays per episode that we get. So we're still quite niche. We're still quite fresh. It's still sexy to listen to us. We're not boring by now. We're still that hipster podcast that you listen to. Nick, give us a scream.
They took my mic away from me!
Yes. So,
They hate me!
yes, we listened to your feedback on Nick last episode, and we decided to confiscate his microphone. No. Of course, there were some technical issues because we had the microphone running through a separate channel, and there was some feedback. And I'm sure you noticed in the last episode there was an echo when Nick spoke, so you're going to have to scream from now on, Nick.
Yes, sir.
It was my decision as well.
It was his
You see,
decision.
we're only consensual here at Serie A Spotlight,
Yes.
guys. Shall we jump into the first match? Shall we jump to Juve Milan?
We should.
Now, of course, Milan coming off that massive victory over Napoli that made a huge statement, etc., etc. And here was the first time that, one of the first times where we got to see the advantage that Milan have from only playing once a week, because Juve were coming off a midweek 2-2 draw away to Villarreal, which did take a lot of muscle and a lot of work. It was an emotional return for Max Allegri, who was fired by Juve the last time that he was in that stadium after throwing an absolute tantrum. And let's just say he didn't make an effort to stay on his best behavior, because he was punching himself in the face. At a point, I'm like, we haven't seen him get a card yet. He must be on his best behavior, right? With his former employers. And it quickly cuts to an angle of him literally punching his forehead after a missed chance. But
Nick, I sent you a video if you want to pull it up. Him reacting to Leao's misses in the meantime.
Yeah. Hilarious stuff. I love Max Allegri. Juve's formation 3-4-2-1. They did have a few absentees. So the lineup was Di Gregorio on goal, backline of Kelly, Rugani, and Gatti. Welcome back, Rugani. Sorry, I pretty much barfed right now. Cambiaso out on the left, Kalulu out on the right, and the double pivot of Locatelli and McKennie after Thuram, of course, was not 100%. And Yildiz and Conceição playing behind Jonathan David. You know, at this stage, it's just like a quick game of rock, paper, scissors between David, Vlahovic and Openda, and whoever loses starts, apparently, because whoever starts seems to be the worst one. 3-5-2 for Allegri's men, Mike Maignan in goal, backline of Tomori, Gabi and Pavlovic, Salamakers on the right, Bartes Zaghi on the left, of course, after Estupinian's red card against Napoli, midfield trio of Fofana, Modric and Rabiot with Jimenez and Pulisic up front together. Leao is still recovering from his injury. Rather, still getting into 100% shape, rather.
Match sharpness more
Exactly.
than anything. Yeah.
So there were a few opportunities in this game, including a Jimenez chance in the 32nd minute after a Pavlovic cross. He glanced his header just wide. It was the best chance of the first half. In the 48th minute, Maignan had a spectacular save after a Gatti chance. The ball kind of fell to him after a corner routine. Clean through on goal. He just had to hit the target, and he actually hit it pretty well. He smashed it, but Maignan actually... The term eagle over here, which is his nickname, is very accurate, because the way he spread his body, the way he positioned himself, that is a world-class save, and he made it look easier than it actually was. He just looked like a wall, really. 52nd minute, Milan were awarded a penalty. It was lofted ball by Modric to Jimenez, and he was clumsily brought down by Lloyd Kelly. Gonna be honest, not a tremendous amount of contact. It had a lot to do with the momentum the players were moving in. I hear a lot of people say, if that's a penalty, it's a red card. It's just like Milan's last week. I don't think it's like Milan's last week. I think it was so much more obvious that Di Lorenzo
Yeah.
had a clear open net in front of him
Yeah.
than a lofted ball like that, where if Kelly didn't foul him, he could have had an opportunity to outmuscle him or win the ball.
With Estupinian, it was clear that there was no attempt to play the ball. In this situation, of course, the contact was so... Of course, it wasn't the case that, for example, he wrapped his arms around him, because at first you kind of see his arms around him, but he immediately pulls out and puts his arms up,
Yeah.
right? It's just his momentum that hit the player and dropped him,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think a red card would have been very harsh over
I think
there, to be
I think the
honest.
ref made the
Yeah,
perfect call.
yeah.
Award the penalty. Do not penalize the man, and that's coming from. I'll put my Milan hat on later. I'm still being neutral over here, but I think the ref did the right thing over there. Pulisic steps up, the most informed player for Milan, and he absolutely skies the penalty high, wide, not at all handsome. Not like Pulisic, who is typically the guy you give the ball to when the stakes are high. But he made a mistake here. In the 73rd minute and the 90th minute, Leao had two huge misses. He came on, he looked good. As an attacking player, as one of the strikers, broke the lines very well with his runs off the ball. He was afforded a bit of space by the three centre-backs, quite surprisingly. But two huge chances scuffed by him, mishit the ball twice. One dragged wide from a few yards out. He essentially had the near post all open for him after the ball spectacularly fell to him, bypassing Loftus-Cheek. And then another weakly struck shot after a brilliant Modric through ball, and give Leao his flowers. He did make a good run over there, but clean strike at goal, and he kind of hits it with his shin. We'll get into Leao soon. Just a way to summarize this game, it was cagey but revealing. Of course, both teams are solid defensively, two of the best defenses in the league. It did feel very cagey, almost like it was the round of 16 of a Champions League match, where everyone's like, look, we just don't want to lose the game.
Yeah.
Going into it, Milan would have hoped for a point away to Juve, because away to Juve is predominantly one of the toughest matches you can have throughout the season. But after seeing the way the game went, with the two Leao chances, with the Jimenez chance and the Pulisic missed penalty, Milan will be kicking themselves for not getting the 3 points here.
Yes, and this was the type of game that could have totally gone either way, because if Mike hadn't made that save on Gatti, it could have been a completely different story, right? Of course. The Pulisic penalty played a massive factor into it. However, I'm going to comment on the Leao misses and the criticism he has been receiving. Because, of course, it looks bad when a player who's playing as the number 9 misses two chances of that magnitude, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, it must be remembered that this guy spent over 40 days sidelined. You know, he isn't exactly as sharp as he would typically be. Plus, he's playing in a role which isn't typically suited for him, quite frankly. It's not his the role he's been playing for all these years for Milan.
Mm-hmm.
So, the important thing, like you said, is that the movement is there. I liked the movement.
Mm-hmm.
I liked how he kind of was on the same wavelength as Modric, who played in that ball.
Yep.
The first chance where Loftus-Cheek let the ball run, I don't think Leao was expecting that ball to fall to him, and his bit of improvisation saw him failing to hit the target. It looks bad, but of course he had a split second to react. And that's kind of like when you realize that Leao isn't a pure number 9, right?
Exactly.
It's going to take some time to get that instinct going.
Exactly. It's like we saw Ekator's goal, which was complete improvisation. The
Yeah.
ball came behind him, so he backheeled it in that manner. These are the kind of things that seasoned strikers do. Now, I say
Yeah,
seasoned strikers,
and
Ekator is
Ekator's
literally
18. But
18
it's-
years old,
it's
but he's
something
been
you
playing
have,
as a
right?
striker.
Yeah.
Exactly, has those striker instincts, which even Santi Jimenez has, that perhaps
Exactly.
Leao doesn't have quite yet. Thierry Henry didn't go. He didn't become a world-class striker immediately when he transitioned from left wing. Definitely looked better than Leao as a striker, but he got there. He got there quite rapidly.
Regarding Leao, maybe I can ask you another question about this. How do you feel about him playing as a 9? Because there were certain situations where he was in the box and Milan were counter-attacking from the left. And I felt like Milan's most powerful weapon for the counter-attack wasn't being utilized.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
However, it is nice to have Pulisic on that side.
So it's nice to have Pulisic on that side. I agree. I think more than that, just with the way Milan are so solid structurally right now, that if it means removing that outlet and rather than removing it, placing it somewhere else where it could be effective, we haven't quite seen the effectiveness of what Leao can bring in a 2 up top system.
Yeah.
We saw Pioli try it with Leao as a sole striker, for example. Wasn't a huge fan of that, but I think with a striker alongside him, someone that can draw attention from the defenders, freeing up space for Leao, I actually think that with Jimenez's lack of pace and sometimes alertness and directness, that Leao can kind of make up for that, and he can have these marauding runs down the middle where we know he can do it as well. So I just think it's a matter of time until we see the best of Leao in that position, and then I feel like I can comment on like where he's going to be more effective.
Yeah, to see if his finishing improves, for example. Finishing has never really been Leao's strong suit.
We always said that, and we're a bit harsh on Leao, and we're like, look, Leao, you're a left winger. We don't want you to shoot from outside the box. We want you to take the ball to the byline and pull the ball back. But we have to remember, this is an evolving human being. It's an evolving footballer who wants to take strides in his career, and I think this could be an important step in his career where he could brush up on these moments, and he could become a bit more of a top player, which is what we want. We don't just simply want someone, Ismail, run down the wing and pull it back, run down the wing, pull it back. So it's good that he's getting to test this while the team is so solid defensively, because otherwise he's just going to be losing the ball. We get caught on the counter, and Milan lose.
And I'm sure that with Leao starting eventually, it depends if he starts, for example, alongside Jimenez. Granted, there's a question as to where Pulisic fits in that situation. Leao can always stretch left and counter while Jimenez moves centrally.
Exactly,
right? Yeah.
exactly. On that side, on the left side, we saw Bartesaghi start.
Yes.
Big shoes to fill in Estupinian and of course Theo last season. I thought Bartesaghi barely put a foot wrong. He had his hands full and he got beaten a few times, obviously, by Conceição. But I thought otherwise, going forward, excellent. Really, really fucking good. Quite solid defensively. Really mature decisions. He never burdened the defense with any immature decisions that he made. Just a really clean performance. And if Estupinian were to get one of his long-term injuries, I wouldn't be too upset by having Davide Bartesaghi over there. And how good is it that he came up through the Milan ranks, man?
No, it's amazing. In a team that sees fewer and fewer Italians feature every season, a player like Bartesaghi, who's come up through
Bart Simpson,
who's come up through the youth ranking, the youth system, it's great to see. And he did impress me. And to be honest, I'm a little bit relieved, because I did think that Bartesaghi was nowhere near ready, and that an Estupinian injury would be very worrying for me. And I would have to see kind of like maybe Rabiot play in that role or something.
There was a rumor.
There was a rumor going around. Yeah, but I really liked his stuff. I liked how he handled the duels. He won the majority of them. His passing is very accurate, and he's very calm and composed. Not to mention that he's got some size to him, and he's like 6'2".
He does. Milan are a very physical team this year, and it's good to see. There are players like Rabiot, Fofana, Bartesaghi, Pavlovic, Gabbia, Tomori.
Absolutely. From set pieces,
from set pieces, and Modric standing over them. It's very good.
This is the final form of Udinese.
Yeah, exactly. we did see the classic Milan go up against the classic Juve, right? Where both teams have their foundation set for the season. It's just about tweaking their instinct. We know that Juve, surprisingly, because there were 2 games in a row where they scored a total of 8 goals, surprisingly, Juve are not a team that create a bunch of chances. They just have the odd shot from distance, for example, that catches the keeper off guard, etc., etc. So it was very much 2 teams that are not finding their feet, but still growing into the season. When it comes to Milan, there's a clear problem when it comes to penalties. And this is with no recency bias. Milan missed, this is a fact, a statistic. Milan have missed 6 penalties out of their last 8 in Serie A. 6 out of 8.
Of course, because there
were those 2
Theo Hernandez. Is this counting the one Zlatan missed? Was that recently?
I don't think so. Well,
Yeah.
maybe.
It could be.
8.
Yeah, yeah.
This is Milan's
to be
first penalty
fair-
of the season.
There have been a few. It's true. Pulisic, however, I think this is the second one he's missed.
I think the other one was it in that Fiorentina game that he missed it? I know it was Theo,
Potentially.
and then or was it Tammy Abraham, man?
It was. Because that game, the whole situation was that they kept taking it from Pulisic.
Yeah.
I don't know. Of course, failing to hit the target from a penalty is bad. It's low key unacceptable.
Did you see how he handled it online?
Yeah, he
He's like,
apologized.
I fucking love this team, and it sucks to let them down. And I'm like, say no more, say no less. That's the perfect reaction. Next penalty, I want him on it again. And I want to see him hit the back of the net. Juve.
I thought that your point on Juve was a very good one, bro, about their almost chameleon-like nature.
Yes, I said this off air.
Yeah.
Very weird, right?
Yeah, it is a bit weird when we talk about football and there aren't microphones in front.
It's true.
We're always like, this is a good point, bro.
Write it down.
Write it down,
Doesn't
bro,
write it down because we're drinking.
Yeah.
But basically what I said is I feel like Juve adapt to games and they don't control games, which case in point, Inter are they play a high line, they're very attacking and they concede a lot. So they score 3, Juve score 4. Milan are a pragmatic team that pick and choose their chances.
And slow the tempo down.
So Juve failed to create many chances. They created one clear-cut chance and it gets leveled at 0-0. Same could be said with Dortmund, who are a very attacking side, and Juve get thrown into that. If a team is violent, Juve are going to bring violence. And if a team are pragmatic, Juve are going to bring pragmatism. So that is something to be studied, because that typically, having that dominance on a game typically comes from having a manager with a clear style and a clear identity, and typically a seasoned manager, which isn't what Tudor really is. But he does give them the grinta, he gives them the energy, and he gives them the want to play for the shirt, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, he's by no means, just to for the maybe listeners who don't know, he's by no means a new manager, of course, Tudor. However, he is 47 years old, and managing top teams at this level is the first experience he's had, to be honest, especially for a full season. Granted, I think he spent time at Lazio, he spent time at Marseille, but Hellas Verona, Hajduk, I think, I'm not sure. But this would be definitely his first full season at a top team. So yeah, good point. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Another point on Juve is their entire offensive spark comes from Chico Conceição.
It's true.
Which I think says a lot. Yildiz is a fantastic player, but it felt to me like, when in doubt, play the ball to Chico, because he's going to take it 1v1. He's going to challenge the defenders, and I felt like that was their only game plan. Yildiz, who's supposedly their creative hub, he was isolated on the left and he barely influenced the game. And then they have a clear problem, Juve. Up top, they have 3 strikers, and Maltese will say, we had Armil Lihor. One is worse than the other. Vlahovic, we've seen glimpses of him this season because he scored 2 goals in the first 2 games of the season, and everyone's like, oh, okay, he's back. But in his cameos, he hasn't exactly been strong. David looks off rhythm, and he had a chance with a clear-sighted goal, and he slipped, and we laughed our asses off.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, you were shit, remember?
Yeah.
We're getting cocky with it. And Openda's touch is a disaster.
Yeah,
Openda can't touch the ball to
hasn't
save his
settled.
life, like at least so far. And I just found it funny when one of Tudor's solutions was to play with a 2 up top.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're putting 2 of your worst players on the pitch, man, at this point.
What they definitely need is some confidence, right? And it's always the case with strikers. Jonathan David had a massive miss in a midweek miss in the Champions League. Massive, terrible miss. And of course, that would have been on the back of his mind, right? He had half a second to take a shot against Gabbia in a duel, and he slipped, and Gabbia managed to clear it. Openda had a good chance as well, and he failed to hit the target. These are confidence issues. I think that maybe starting David, I don't think that David would have been my choice, at least going into a match against Milan where you're playing against Pavlovic, Gabbia, and Tomori.
Yeah, me neither.
I would have probably gone for Vlahovic
Vlahovic.
from the
Me
start,
too.
right? A bit more
Me
physical, someone who isn't afraid to get stuck in, someone who has scored in Serie A before.
I agree with you. He's also way more effective than the other guys off the bench.
That's a good point. And then yes,
So I see why Tudor might have thought of it that way. I did feel like I had another Milan point. Like I moved to Juve a bit too quick. To stay on Juve.
okay.
This is their 5th draw in a row in all competitions. Their 3rd draw in a row in Serie A. And I was really holding back from saying this looks like Motta's Juve earlier this season. But after 5 draws in a row, this definitely fucking looks like Motta's Juve, man.
I think we mentioned it last episode.
Oh,
Actually,
did
as
we?
well. Yeah,
Did
yeah,
we?
There are definitely parallels.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. However, it's always a good thing that they're not losing. They need this international break more than any other team, because I think with Juve, they've got a very strong starting 11, one of the best in the league. However, when it comes to depth and options of the bench, they're a little bit lackluster.
Yeah.
Their spine consists of Bremer, Thuram, Yildiz.
Huge.
Those guys, massive
Yeah.
spine. But in a game like this, for example, where Bremer is out and Thuram isn't 100%, they change as a team. The subs aren't the same. It's true the defense they did an admirable job, to be honest. However, it is true that the only reason Milan didn't win is because they wasted the chances themselves. They squandered it. In reality, Juve gave away a penalty. They allowed 2 chances for Leao. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, the depth is definitely an issue. Maybe they can address this in January.
Absolutely, and I think they should. The only place that they're sorted depth-wise is in the attacking part of the pitch, and that they're not exactly spoiled for choice with talent there. At a point, we'll call them Ed, and Eddie. I don't think we're quite there yet, but soon we'll get to the
They'll
Ed,
be
and
fine.
Eddie.
They're all individually, they're all great strikers. Of course, Openda's new to the league, and so is Jonathan David. And we're only 6 games into the season, of course. And let's remember that Jonathan David has actually already scored for Juve.
Yeah.
So this might be something that completely changes in the coming weeks.
Yeah. Milan hat on before we move on. I'm torn on Magnan at the moment because Magnan is running down his contract. He's the club captain, but he hasn't put a foot wrong all season so far. He's been fucking amazing.
He's been
bro.
amazing,
and
yeah.
I didn't praise him in the last match there, and I should have because he had a great game against Napoli, some great saves. But in this game, that save is just testament to what Mike Magnan is capable of.
Yes, absolutely. It's true that he's running down his contract. It seems to be the case, at least. He wants to be on a salary that would make him the highest earner at Milan, which takes us back to the days of Donnarumma, right, when he was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, guys, it's, the bubbles are kicking in. Magnan. It's not a Magnan issue. It's the fact that I think that Milan's model is clever. You don't want to make your goalkeeper the highest earner. Because then Leao is going to come and he's going to be like, listen, I'm the main guy. I sell the most shirts. I contribute to the most goals and assists every season. I'm the longest serving player in this team. I want to be the highest paid earner. And then all of a sudden, it's fair, yes. The goalkeeper, I don't think, should ever be the highest paid player on the pitch at all. Of course, no disrespect to goalkeepers, but it just isn't sustainable.
Yeah.
Because the headlines don't often include the keepers. You know, I mean, in a game like this where it's 0-0, of course, you get the headline.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, there isn't a shortage of good goalers. You know, you look in Italy, many teams have a good goalkeeper.
Like,
you know?
bring me Caprile if
fuck
Magnan
it.
leaves with no
You know?
recency bias. I said this in the summer when we thought he was leaving. Just another comment on a Milan individual. Santi Jimenez had a great run and a crack at goal at a point.
Yes.
His glancing header was actually, he attacked the ball really, really well, just wide. That's almost his first goal of the season. And what he brings to Milan defensively, man, is not to be understated. And it's not just simply, he's the first line of defense because he presses. He tracks back aggressively at a point, bro. Juve had a clear passing lane on the left-hand side. Who was it? Cambiaso. I think he was about to play through either David or Yildiz. And who blocked that passing lane when Salamakers was zonal marking, everyone was zonal marking? It was fucking Santi Jimenez coming back, man. And just that is so important for Milan players to have. And I see a strong case for Santi needing to start, but then that causes a problem obviously between there's Leao, who is a world beater, and there's Pulisic, who is Mr. Numbers. So it's a bit of a head scratcher because none of them work as hard as Jimenez, which in an Allegri system is important, right?
For sure. I don't mind Jimenez. I often don't mind players who give their all for the team. In fact, I remember back in Milan's banter era, Borini, exactly. I never had a problem with Borini. How can you hate a player who is literally like, he's gonna vomit on the pitch from running so much? You know what I mean? Like, how can you hate a guy like that? You know,
you can't.
I understand that maybe he's not good enough, and I accept it. I don't feel that way with Jimenez, by the way. I don't think Jimenez is bad by any means. I think I like a lot of the things I see from Jimenez. Of course, the misses are shocking sometimes, and they're frustrating, and they make you swear and shout in the moment.
Yeah.
But I think there are many good elements in Jimenez's game. His movement, his work ethic, his defensive contribution. I think that's all well and good. However, I would like to see his finishing improve.
Absolutely.
You know,
and that's the thing. We used to say that no matter when he shoots, it's always on target, no matter what. This season, that's fallen off a bit. You could tell it's a confidence thing.
Yeah. But he looked out. This game, he looked confident.
He looked really
that
good.
header was very good. And
really
that run at one point, I've never seen him do that.
Right? Because he never looked fit enough to do that. I don't know what changed, but he suddenly looks quite fit.
I think because he changed his nasal strip from black to skin color.
He did change it from black to skin color, and I noticed because I'm like, there's no way he's not wearing one today. I'm like, he is.
Yeah. Whenever he misses, that's the thing I'm so angry about, is his nasal strip. That's the thing that pisses me off. Like, his fucking stupid nasal strip.
He probably has like a deviated septum, bro, and he needs it. Like, was I gonna say anything else about this game? I don't think I was. Shout out Luka Modric. I'm not mentioning your age. You're just a superstar, bro.
Yeah.
Every single game, he's the best man on the pitch. Once again, another man of the match fucking performance by him.
It was technically Manyan for the save, but
yes,
on the pitch he was the best, right?
He was
every
the best
week,
player on the pitch.
Yeah.
Luka Modric once again, obviously. I'm happy to move on. I don't know if there's anything I missed.
I would just like to point out one little statistic that I found, and it's about defensive contributions. I believe I sent it on the WhatsApp chat. Let's just make sure. Let's see if I
I'm ignoring you.
Here
on
it
the
is. Here it
WhatsApp
is.
chat.
Here it is. Okay. So duels won in Serie A, the top 5. So Gabbia is first with 83.33% of his duels won.
Needs a call up.
I think he got one. Gattuso called him up. Kjolanda Gaspar is tied also with 83.33%. Lecce's rock at the back. There's also Circati in third place of Parma with 82.76%, followed by Strahinja Pavlovic with 77.78%. So in the top 5, there are two of Milan's centre backs who in the past have been criticized heavily for not being good enough. You see what a good coach does.
Yes, man. And can I say, this Pavlovic slander is...
How can you hate Pavlovic?
I've watched so many videos of football creators that I adore and that I really follow and that inspire me to do this podcast on a weekly basis. They're doing Milan Juve. I'm not saying... The debate was Pavlovic versus Kelly. Kelly's had a great season. Pavlovic has also had a great season. So stop saying these are two of the worst centre backs. They're not two of the worst fucking centre. Pavlovic defensively has been sound so far at Milan. And
this season especially.
This season especially. And going forward, what Milan lost by losing Theo Hernandez, Pavlovic is doing it.
Yeah.
Pavlovic is making those marauding runs forward with the ball at his feet and terrorizing defenders with these runs off the ball, giving that sheer physicality.
Yeah.
Stop talking about these two guys, Kelly, who's been probably the most consistent defender Juve have had this season, and Pavlovic, who brings so much more than just defending. I saw this guy take a free kick.
Yeah,
Brilliant
bro.
free
What
kicks.
a shot. Yeah.
Brilliant free kicks.
Uh-huh.
He's a good player. He's a freak of fucking nature.
He
This
is.
guy is gonna be a monster. He's 22 fucking years old,
And
man.
he has something that can't be taught, man. He has fearlessness in his game
Exactly.
and
He's
bravery.
big and Serbian with a skinhead, bro.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
look
yeah,
that
yeah.
can kill. He's a monster.
Yes.
He's a monster, Pavlovic,
A
man.
face that only a mother and Serie spotlight can love.
We're clearly watching Ryan Murphy's Monsters at the moment.
Ryan Murphy. the
Only a mother can love you,
yeah,
Ed.
only a mother can love you. Yes,
Tannik.
crazy show.
Crazy show.
Yeah. Pavlovic, yes. The best thing about Pavlovic is that when he advances, no one expects it and no one's ready for it, and everyone's marking a different player, leaving him gaps to attack. And then there's always this awkward miscommunication or attempt at communication from defenders who are looking at each other. Should I go? Should you go? And then one presses, and all of a sudden a player's free. So it creates a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
I do expect that teams will get used to this
I
eventually,
agree.
but the good thing is that Tomori is also quite capable going forward.
As well. And then Gabi has that
Yeah.
last man.
It's like
Last
that
man.
Inter approach. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's very good. This is Jake and Matt from the future.
Hello.
We totally forgot Fiorentina Roma, so at this point I forgot. We have actually finished recording the episode, but we've come back to obviously complete it because it would have been an unfinished product. But
Yeah.
anyway, Fiorentina hosted Roma and lost 2-1. As for the lineups, it was De Gea in goal for Fiorentina in a 3-4-2-1 formation with Pongracic, Umari and Ranieri at the back, Dodo and Gosens on the wings with Mandragora and Nicolucci Caviglia in the middle, Fazzini and Goodmanson playing behind Moise Keane. As for Roma, it was also a 3-4-2-1 formation with Zvilar in goal, Indica, Mancini and Celik at the back with Tsimikas on the left, Wesley on the right, Kone and Cristante in the middle with Baldanzi and Sule flanking Dovbyk. Now, Fiorentina struck first when Keane latched onto a ball over the top and challenged Indica to a very intimate duel, you can say that,
Yes.
where Indica kept trying to show him onto his weaker foot and Keane kept feinting as though he was going to cut inside and eventually ended up tricking him against all odds. He had a split second to shoot and he unleashed a rocket. Zvilar got his hands to it, but it was too powerful and ended up flying into the far corner. Roma responded quickly with Dovbyk playing a lovely backheel flick into Sule, who finished from outside the box with a trademark Sule curler. And just before halftime, Roma took the lead from a corner. It was Brian Cristante, who we had memed on Instagram, saying basically, essentially posting a meme that every manager manages to slot Cristante into the starting 11. He lost his marker on a cross on a corner and powered a header into the back of the net. Lovely technique on that header over there. There was also a big miss for Dovbyk on the stretch, and Keane hit the post after Fazzini did very well to release him. In the second half, Fiorentina pressed for an equalizer. Piccoli came on and had a long-range effort that came off the bar. And in the final moments, Gosens blasted a very good chance over from close range. Despite playing better, Fiorentina lost the game and Roma held on for a victory. Would you agree with me that Fiorentina played better this game?
Fiorentina looked a lot better than they have the past few games, and I think they threatened more going forward. I mean, they hit the post twice, and I think just the way that they were set up in this game just suits them a little bit better. I saw Fazzini being a bit more involved in a midfield where it was almost like a three-man midfield, and Goodmanson kind of being that second striker next to Keane. I think it offered them a bit more stability, and I think just Keane having that space to work with, because he needs space, Keane.
Yes.
He's not a player that enjoys having the ball in tight spaces or make a run off the ball to create space for his partner. He is a number 9 that starts up front alone from what I've seen so far. And that I feel like served Keane better, who you have to set your team up with Keane in mind, because he could be the capocannoniere for your team this year. He could pull you out of the hole that you're in. And that three-man midfield is just important for Fiorentina, man, because they're not quite there yet when it comes to the organization. So having more bodies in the middle of the pitch it just simply works out better for them.
Agreed. I do think that Pioli's biggest challenge is how to unlock Albert Goodmanson, because we know that Albert Goodmanson in the correct system can be absolutely unplayable. We saw him at Genoa, who had a far worse team than this Fiorentina side, and he was a demon in the middle. You couldn't take the ball off him, man. He was so confident, and he linked up so well with Retegui. And why can't that be with Keane? You know,
I know.
Like, so that's a massive challenge for Pioli. Roma defensively solid,
As always.
This another narrow victory for them, and another victory in a game where the opposition seemed to have the better of the chances. Right? Is this something that you think will continue seeing until the very end, or is it kind of like a patch of good fortune for Roma? Do you think they'll only get better?
I'd say it's not sustainable, but this is exactly what they've been doing since they picked their shit up last season. That's exactly
very good point.
When Ranieri started, this is exactly what he's done with Roma. And we know Ranieri's there, we know he's still involved, we know that him and Gasperini are in cahoots and are setting this team up together, basically, from what we've been hearing. So I'd say it's unsustainable. They're definitely not a team that will go undefeated or have a clean record, anything of the sorts, because when they're conceding, XG is constantly level with their output XG. It goes to show that they're like overperforming. How long could they do that? Could they do that for if Soler picks up an injury? So it is not. It technically isn't sustainable, but they keep on proving us wrong because it's exactly what they've been doing since Ranieri got hired halfway through last season.
Yeah, absolutely. I do feel like there were signs of improvement this game for Fiorentina. I think that sticking with Pioli is a brave decision, but also when you have a guy who has won the league, you know, having a CV of that nature makes it difficult to actually sack you, you know, and I'm happy that they're giving him time because I feel like some coaches are just sacked too prematurely.
I'm worried that they're giving him time.
Because the fixtures, right?
Because after the international break, there are 3 fixtures that I would be very surprised if Fiorentina won a single one of them. And then those are Milan, Bologna, Inter, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's check.
And I simply don't see them winning those games. If they win one of those games, then perhaps they should keep Pioli. But if they extend their winless run to 9 matches, it's sackable. It is sackable. 9 matches without a win as Fiorentina.
Yeah. The good news is that the Bologna game is a derby, and a victory over there, or if they get something over there, it could totally change the trajectory of their season. Not to mention that they have a Conference League match after the Milan game against Rapid, which could definitely see them maybe building some confidence, or the total opposite and losing all their confidence.
Or getting more injuries.
1 point on Roma, although they're very organized, I feel like their goals often come through individual moments of brilliance. Rather than team maneuvers.
Yes.
I mean, the Dovbyk flick was lovely, but it was a
loose ball at the end of the day. It didn't go to the intended target.
Exactly.
Soler was in the right place at the right time, and the ball fell to him. I completely agree. It's moments of magic on either side. It's Villar pulling off an incredible save. It's Soler scoring a goal out of nothing.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think if that's why I made the reference of if Soler gets injured. And the Bala classic, right? He wouldn't be 100%. I struggle to think of someone that can score that goal for them or to create that moment for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So Fiorentina's last Serie A win dates back to May 25th. It's been a while. While
Jesus,
Roma, I believe, have the best defense in the league. Do they? Do they still have that? That was the case last week. Let's see. Yes, 2 goals conceded. They have conceded the fewest goals.
Yeah, again, continuing the momentum from last season.
Yeah. So very positive for Roma. The fans will be absolutely thrilled seeing them tied top with Napoli. They're starting to believe, could it be? Do we have a chance to make a Scudetto push?
Hold your horses.
Hold your horses, guys. We're on match day 6.
Yeah. Top 4 is doable for Roma. Roma can do top 4. In my predictions, I have them top 4 and Juve no. They can do it. I believe they can.
Yeah, we will see.
Over to you for Napoli Genoa, bro.
Yes, sir. So we've got Napoli against Genoa. So this game was a 2-1 victory for Napoli at the Maradona, who came back from behind. For Napoli, it was Vanja Milinkovic-Savic who started in goal over here, a trend that will probably continue to happen because he's great. Di Lorenzo, Bokema, Juan Jesus and Oliveira were at the back four with Lobotka sitting in front of them. Politano, Anguissa, McTominay and Neres were playing up front
What did I say?
Højlund.
What did I say last week, bro?
You said that he will bench De Bruyne. Yes.
Thank you for confirming.
Absolutely. He was asked about this, and he was asked basically, of course, like, is this a punishment for De Bruyne? No, it's not a punishment. He said, scelta tecnica, right? Of course, which means a technical decision, of course, Conte. And of course, Neres as a player is way too good to not be starting.
Yeah.
And he creates a lot of problems, and I believe his cameo against Milan deserved a start. So it's only fair to see him starting over here.
Absolutely.
Plus, not to mention, De Bruyne can do some great damage off the bench.
Absolutely.
For Genoa, it was Leali in goal. A good point that you made, a good observation, is that both goalkeepers going ahead against each other were both bald.
It's a historic moment, let's be honest.
Moment, yes, the Battle of the Balls.
Yeah.
Ellertson, Vasquez, Marcandalli and Sabelli were at the back with Frendrup and Mazzini as that intimidating double pivot, with Vitinha on the left,
infamous.
North and Coffey on the right, and Malinovsky playing behind Jeff Eketor.
Everyone knows about the Frendrup Mazzini double pivot. It's infamous.
Bro, this season, yeah, of course, don't mention it. That's controversial. the Frendrup Mazzini double pivot has been quite good in my opinion. Even though Genoa, man. You watch them play week in, week out. You watch every game. Then you look at the table. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
So, Genoa took a surprising lead in the 33rd minute through 18-year-old Jeff Eketor's exquisite back heel. Of course, there was great work by Norton Coffey, as we've said 4 times this episode. Napoli dominated 69% of ball possession and generated 12 shots in the first half. They struggled to beat Genoa's defense and to break it down, quite frankly, due to some resolute defending by that incredible double pivot and the centre-back pairing of Vasquez and Marcandalli, who stood strong. The turning point came after the break when Andre, Frank, Zambo and Guissa leveled the score, capitalizing on a well-placed cross from Spinazzola and eventually heading in the rebound. That cross was cleared by Vasquez. It was cleared very well by Vasquez. It was last-ditch, full stretch, almost a bicycle
really
kick.
Good.
The problem is he didn't get enough power on it, right? So it just fell to Anguissa in an awkward space between the goalkeeper and kind of like in no man's land,
really,
exactly. So the goalkeeper ran out to claim it, but in reality Anguissa got to it first and headed it over him and into the back of the net.
Anguissa, the man with important goals against small teams.
Yeah, great work by Spinazzola, who continues to impress. Shortly after, Højlund netted the winner following up on a parried shot by Anguissa, actually, which was saved well by Leal. It was very powerful and just fell in the path of Højlund, who had just had a goal disallowed for offside. Nice to see that his form continues. Granted, he hasn't been smashing them in, but it's only fair to say that he's been on good form, right? Yeah. It was a good game by Napoli. I thought they reacted very well. I thought the substitutions they made were perfect and they did change the game, right? What do you think?
I thought they did, and I was confident that Napoli were going to win this game even when they went 1 goal behind. I mean, they always have it in their locker that they're capable of creating chances and they have the players that can get it done as well. are there chinks in the armor that are very evident so far through their game against Cagliari, their game against Milan, and their game against Genoa? Absolutely. I don't think they don't have what they had last season, but there's definitely a lack of authority in a game like this where for the first half they started decently, but Genoa got that goal late on in the first half and they kind of ran away with it. And if it weren't for, a 75th minute Højlund goal, then they'd be in serious trouble. So I do think they were this way last season where it was fine margins that won them the league. You'd hope that after a turbulent season like that, they'll have a cleaner season. But it almost looks like it's going to be a bit of a rinse and repeat for Napoli this season, where if they do go all the way, it's because they score against Cagliari in the last minute, because they come back from behind against Genoa.
But these are the moments that do define champions, right? And
Absolutely.
they're the moments where champions step up. Like we saw McTominay last season, he definitely lived by that.
Yeah.
I thought the attempt at this formation was to actually empower McTominay. Didn't really work out as planned. Neres does free up McTominay to play more of a kind of shadow / second striker role, right?
Yeah.
But in the game for Genoa, it was a block 4-4-2. To be honest, they were absorbing pressure and they did so very well. Granted, Politano missed a very good chance at the near post, and Di Lorenzo hit the post at one point in the second half, I believe. But I think it was always going to be the case that that Napoli will have too much firepower for them, especially once they made the substitutions. Right, their players are so good and their depth is so good.
Yeah, they have insane depth. They're structured as a team that is going to be playing in 3 competitions, because that's like exactly the difference between them this season and them last season. For them last season, look, this is still a team that are missing Lukaku. And I was reading a point about why McTominay isn't kind of racking up the numbers this season like he was last season where he got MVP. I think firstly, obviously, McTominay didn't get all his goals in the first 6 matches of the season, so chill your balls is point number 1. Point number 2 is they were playing where McTominay almost felt crowded out with the amount of with De Bruyne over there. They're almost kind of playing the same role. Point number 3 is Lukaku's missing. Lukaku would set up 70% of Højlund's goals, man, and that's not an exaggeration. There were times where there was that one game, I forgot who it was against, but Lukaku and McTominay, I think Lukaku scored 2 and McTominay scored 1, and all the goals, they were assisted from each other. They have a fantastic relationship. You can't have McTominay as a secondary striker without a striker that excels at holding the ball up. Højlund's decent at that, but he's no bloody Lukaku. Lukaku is the best striker in the world at holding the ball up, without a doubt. He's too strong, defenders can't contain him, and he just lays the ball off perfectly, and he has good vision as well.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's definitely a cheat code having Lukaku up front in certain situations, especially in contest system. Interesting to see if Luka would do a better job paired with McTominay there.
It is interesting. We've had this debate before. I feel like Højlund is a bit better with his back towards goal because he has a better center of gravity. You feel like Luka's size can do bits over there. I think we just need to see more.
We have to see
who's more
literally,
right.
Exactly. And then we fight about it.
Exactly.
So,
then we arm wrestle.
Exactly. Genoa's last victory in Naples dates back to February 22nd, 2009. The manager of that game was Gasperini for Genoa.
Christ, man. Christ.
Interesting stat I saw over here is that De Bruyne has scored all 3 goals in the championship in the Serie A away from home. That's an interesting stat.
Interesting.
Genoa was the worst attack in the league, with this being their 3rd goal scored, and they only have 3 goal scorers.
I think ding, 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 alarm bells. Genoa haven't won a game yet.
Exactly. Their last victory was the last match day of last season. And May 24th, 3-1 at Bologna.
And it's concerning. Like, okay, they've had a few tough fixtures, but they also had totally winnable fixtures if they're looking to be if they're looking to improve from last season and like go for 11th place or something like that, they need to be winning some of these games, man. They need
I
to
wonder
get
if
a point when they're not expected to get a point, you know?
Yeah, I wonder if they view the market in the same way that we do. We view the market as a positive one, right? I wonder if they're looking at it as, listen, we didn't spend a cent, so if we match what we did last season, that's good enough. I wonder if it's more that, or like, listen, we've brought in some good talent.
Yeah.
We have to improve.
Yeah.
I wonder what it would be, to be honest, what their objectives are.
I wonder.
It's always because every time you hear these teams, objective is survival, objective is survival.
But we
every time.
feel like it was a good market, which it was. I mean, in
Yeah.
my opinion, because
It was.
there's Carboni and all these guys. But bro, Grombake isn't fucking playing, and the Romanian guy, what's his name again?
Stanchu.
The Stanchu.
He vanished off the face of the earth.
He's not playing either.
Yeah.
So it's almost like he's been abducted or something like that. So in reality, they didn't have a good market, because I'm looking at their team, and it's Ekator up front, Vitinha, Malinowski, Norton, Coffee, Mazzini, Frendrup, Ellertson, Vasquez, Marcandalli, Sabelli, Leali. Where's the improvement?
Let's remember that they might just be getting used to the team and the league as well. I mean, with Carboni,
At the
fair
same-
enough, you can play him. But Grombeck and Stanchu, maybe they need some tweaking sometime. Because we saw good things from Stanchu. It's bizarre that he's in start.
It is weird, but there's probably a reason for that, you know?
Probably the
Colombo.
incredible double pivot. That
Colombo, they Colombo. I don't know about this guy, man. I don't know
Yeah.
about Colombo.
He has to get his shit together, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
because then Ekator comes on and he scores like that in the fucking first half of the game, and he's not exactly doing Colombo any
With
favors, right?
strikers of the mold that Colombo has, it's particularly frustrating because nothing seems to work for them, and they're
Yeah.
always going to prioritize the shot. They're
Yeah.
very selfish, man. quite
Yeah.
frankly.
Yeah.
Imagine Kristovic didn't score the goals he scored.
Yeah.
It was already frustrating that he would never pass, and he carried Lecce to safety. Colombo needs to do better if he's going to play so selfishly, man. in my opinion.
Absolutely. Completely agreed.
Yeah.
Stanchu's injured, by the way.
Is he? Okay.
is
He had
injured.
played in the Coppa Italia, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, he played all right. So, Genoa has still winless after 5 match days. This hasn't happened since 2017, 2018. However, that season they finished 12th. So that just goes to show how early it is and how Genoa can still improve, and how maybe the sacking of Vieira is not that serious, you know, and shouldn't
Yeah.
be considered that much because they're playing all right. They just need to start scoring.
Yeah. Next up, Inter 4, Cremonese 1. The first loss of Cremonese's season, and it took 6 match days to beat this team. And it came from a full-flowing Inter that seemed like after those 2 losses in a row to Udinese and Juve, albeit they played Sassuolo, Cagliari and Cremonese, which are essentially all relegation candidates, let's be honest.
Yeah.
They're really marking their authority, and they're looking a lot better. There are some very positive signs for Inter so far. So it's their 3rd domestic win in a row after 2 consecutive losses, and they handed Cremonese their first defeat. It was a 3-5-2 formation for Kivu's men, Sommer in goal, backline of Bastoni, De Vrij and Akanji, De Marco on the left, Dumfries on the right, and a midfield three of Mkhitaryan, Barella and Frattesi, which saw Barella in the register role, which is very interesting, and also kind of fuck yes, try him somewhere else,
Yeah.
because he's been a bit ineffective where typically he's one of their most effective players. Lautaro Martinez and Bonni starting up front together due to Thuram's injury, and it's good to start Bonni because all the hype is about Pio. It's good to give this guy a chance. You're forgetting about him.
Yes, all Bonnie, no Clyde is the
Yes,
headline
sir.
I would have gone for.
Yeah,
if
if
I
we
were
were
a writer.
cool,
Yeah.
if we're cool and we still named our episodes cool shit rather than Matchday 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it would have been all Bonni, no Clyde. This
All
one.
Bonnie,
But
no
then we'd be
Clyde.
saying, but that doesn't encapsulate Juve and Milan, doesn't encapsulate fucking...
It was always a debate when it
Yeah.
came to naming an episode.
It was a
always
nightmare. A 5-3-2 formation for Cremonese. It's almost like Nicola was playing Football Manager. He's like, okay, ultra defensive this time, 5 at the back. Silvestri in goal. A backline of Mussolini, Ceccherini, Baschirotto, Bianchetti and Pezzella. Midfield three of Vasquez, Grassi and Bondo, with Sanabria and Jonsson up front together. It didn't take long for Inter to open the scoring. Lautaro in the 6th minute. Inter pressed high. Barella won the ball, fed Boni. The Frenchman squared the ball to Lautaro, who tapped him from 10 yards. 38th minute, Boni made it 2-0. Bastoni advanced on the left, found DiMarco. Pinpoint cross to Boni's head. First start, first goal. 55th minute, DiMarco made it 3 after a corner fell to him on the edge of the box. You know, the layoff obviously came from Boni. 1 goal and 3 assists. Smashed it into the bottom corner, trademark DiMarco goal. 57th minute, Barella 4-0. Boni turned provider once again, laying it off for Barella, who charged into the box and finished calmly. Then the 87th minute, just to fuck my clean sheet on Fanta, Bonazzoli scored the goal. Diouf gifted possession over here. Diouf wanted, his team were winning 4-0. He wanted to make a bit of a name for himself. Charged down the middle, lost possession, conceded the goal to Cremonese. Bonazzoli slotted home against his former team, so he made Bonazzoli get all the flowers over there. I'm going to drop everything. Forget everything Let's talk about Boni a bit. 1 goal, 3 assists, and that's like a stat. It's excellent, sure, but I was more impressed by the chemistry he showed with Lautaro. It was so seamless for his first start in Serie A, but it's like they played together for ages, and like the link up that he had with Lautaro. At times I saw him and I was sure it was Thuram, because the way that they were connecting was amazing.
One of the best things about Boni and Esposito being options at Inter is that for the first time in ages, they have, first of all, 2 young profiles on the bench who are exciting and hungry.
Mm-hmm. They are excited as well.
They are excited as well, totally. And also, they are very intelligent, both of them. And that's the thing that impressed me the most this game about Boni, because I didn't think that he was so intelligent. And it's true. He adapted well at Parma, and he played well with his teammates. And now he's doing the same with Inter.
Yeah.
And the players around him have been playing together for a while. So it is very difficult for your first season coming in, and you're not a regular starter, to make a start and to affect the game in a way that makes it look like you're the key man for this team, right?
Yeah.
And he absolutely shouldered the responsibility and showed, like, listen, I can be a protagonist in some games.
And the thing is, he fits. Firstly, he chooses the pass before the shot 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Thuram, on the other hand, I'm not saying him over Thuram or anything like that, but Thuram, we know he has a bit of a knack for being a bit selfish.
Yeah.
Goes for a goal when he shouldn't, when there's a Lautaro Martinez to his left. That's what Inter have is multiple outlets for scoring goals. How many times in the past few seasons did they have the top scorer? Once with Lautaro Martinez. Otherwise, they don't typically have top scorers. They have a team where DiMarco scores, Mkhitaryan scores, Barella scores, Dumfries scores, Bastoni scores. Everyone's scoring. So when you have someone up front who is selfless and he sets up the captain Lautaro Martinez, he sets up Dumfries, DiMarco, etc. That is a guy. And Barella said, we need guys like him. I'm sure he means the exact same thing I'm saying. Kivu Ball suited this as well, because they had 7 high recoveries in the attacking third in this game.
Wow.
And most of their goals came that way. They win the ball so high up the pitch. Kivu Ball is really like that high pressing, high attacking, and they really have the ability Inter to suffocate teams, which makes me think that once again Inter are gonna have the highest scoring team in the league.
Yes,
it's
and
inevitable,
they have smash potential, like trash potential. Literally.
Yes.
You look at the goals scored this season, for example, they lead. They have 17 goals scored already in 6 matches,
Madonna.
Yeah.
Madonna, bro.
They've lost 2 games, yet they've scored 17 goals. It's something that allows you to rotate players, to try out players who are low on confidence. It gives you a bit of leeway, right?
Absolutely.
By halftime, they were already 2-0 up. The game was virtually done. There was no way Cremonese could get back into it. Also, bro, Esposito came on, and his touch is absolutely incredible.
Remarkable, bro.
Yes.
Remarkable. It's so effortless for a young boy, 19 years old. like we're talking a guy that will one day have the touch of Dimitar Berbatov, bro. Like the ball is glued to his feet when he receives
It is, and
It's
he
really
puts the
impressive,
perfect
man.
weight on it if he passes first time. He shields the opponent. Well, he's very intelligent, man. He's a very exciting player, and I totally get the hype, although it's hilarious. For example, Gazzetta dello Sport in their player ratings, they write a bit of text about it. They wrote about his performance, whatever. Then at the end, he applauded Bonnie. Bravo. Like, are we praising absolutely everything? Right now, you know?
Really good. He fixed his
well
hair
done.
with his left hand, not his
Exactly.
right.
So that he could give his teammate a thumbs up with his
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Bravo.
I felt a bit bad for Dumfries in this game because the overload on the left flank was ridiculous. Bastoni, Di Marco, and then Boni to Lautaro. And then Dumfries wasn't pleased that he got subbed at half time to rest him.
Yeah.
And Henrique came on, whatever his name is.
Luis Henrique.
He didn't do anything crazy, but I felt a bit bad for Dumfries. I was going to say,
it's
yes,
good for him to rest,
Yeah.
even though he has that competitive spirit.
Barella as the deep playmaker, Barella as the regista. Firstly, I think he has a certain technique to him that makes him a good fit over here when it comes to how he can keep the ball. He has a bit of that Modric to him when it comes to like he almost can't lose the ball.
His ball retention.
His
His
ball
press
retention.
retention, rather. Or
Mm.
press resistance. Yes, let's go
let's
with
say
that.
press resistance, but it's
'Cause
more
he'll
of
flick
this
it over
technique.
the
Yeah.
The guy will press him, he'll flick it over him and control it and nonchalantly play it to the left.
He's a very well-rounded midfielder, and it's good that
He's good,
that
huh?
he gets to rest a bit and play regista. He played 109 passes with 87% accuracy. That's a good number for 109 passes. Inter look a bit more like a collective right now. Lautaro was only 5th for touches in the box in the first half, so it feels like just everyone is involved. Everyone was attacking this Cremonese team again.
Mkhitaryan especially, he was so unlucky to not score, man. He was having so many shots.
Yeah. I'm quite high on Inter right now. To me, they are recovering after their slump. With that being said, the teams they played are the teams they played, right? Cagliari, Sassuolo, Cremonese. But Sassuolo beat Cremonese beat Milan, and this and that. Look, at the end of the day, they didn't play world beaters. But I feel like Kivu's getting a lot of things right, and he's experimenting, and he's rotating well, and there seems to be an element of camaraderie where the older players are encouraging the likes of Bonni and Esposito. Akanji added some solidity to the back. I think Inter are in a good place overall. Cremonese, fuck it, guys. It was gonna come at some point, right?
One more fact about this game in general and everything surrounding this game is Davide Nicola, despite losing his first match of the season, will most likely have a very good month, as statistically, historically, October has been the month in which his teams have the best points average with 1.44 points per match.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
Nicola
Interesting.
and October.
Nicola and October. Not a great month for our Nicola, October, because she got kicked out of Love Island Games, man.
Yes,
But
the
anyway.
one Maltese representative.
Yes.
But anyway, moving on, we have Atalanta Como. Atalanta Como played out a 1-1 draw in the Gewis Stadium. The Gewis. For Atalanta, it was Carnesecchi in goal in their 3-4-2-1 formation, with Gym City Hien and Ahanor at the back, Zappacosta and Bernasconi on the flanks. Every time the commentator says Bernasconi, I think he's saying Berlusconi. Ederson and Pasalic in the double pivot, with Samardzic and Sulemana playing behind Lookman.
Look, man, it's Lookman.
Look, man, long time no see.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's back. No pride left. But he's there.
But
Keeps trying to
yet
leave.
again, man. Yet again.
For Como, it was a 4-2-3-1 formation with Bute in goal, Vojvoda and Smolcic as the fullbacks, Diego Carlos and Ramon as the centre-back partnership. Carlos, by the way, was the 5th person in that stat. I never read him out.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. Da Cunha and Perrone as the double pivot, with Baturina and Addai playing on the flanks, and Nico Paz playing off the shoulders of Duvikas. So Lazar Samardzic opened the scoring in the 6th minute, capitalizing on somewhat of a clumsy yet well-executed move, which saw him play a swift 1-2 and finishing cleanly despite having lost the ball, quite frankly. And then not shortly after, actually, let's confirm. Yes, it was shortly after, 19th minute. Perrone leveled the score with what was definitely meant to be a cross that ended up hitting the post and going into the back of the net, with Carnesecchi trying his very best to
It was
to
just
knock it
over
out.
the line, and Carnesecchi scooped it out, but goal line technology, baby.
Yes, and he did this after a fantastic goal line clearance on Sulemana as well. Pasalic in that move had a lovely flick. Back heel flick to unleash Sulemana, who beat the keeper but did not beat Perrone. Both teams had chances to take the lead later on, but neither managed to convert, resulting in a draw. There was a good save by Bute on Daniel Maldini in the second half. Lookman was quite lively in the game, but he missed a very good opportunity as well to win the game. I have been impressed by Atalanta.
Especially with the amount of injuries that they have, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Zalewski, Scalvini, their own suspended, Scamacca, Kolasinac, Teketelare, Kusunu, Bellanova, Bakker. It's 9 injuries. 9 guys that could, maybe not all of them start, but they could do a shift in replacement for other players. Their wing backs are different. The guys behind the striker are different. The striker is different.
The coach is different.
But Tudor has been smart, and they're a team that
Juric.
What did I say?
Tudor.
Oh shit. Juric has been smart so far, and he's prioritized the team's shape. He's prioritized the team not conceding before they can become that free-flowing side that we know Atalanta to be, and that's why we love Atalanta. But so far, this is what a transition should look like. A bit on the cautious side, and I think he's done a good job. This is not an easy Como side to play against. They're very dangerous, and I don't feel like Atalanta would have felt really threatened by Como in this game. Fuck me, man. Their goal came from he went to cross and it somehow hit the post and went in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Como didn't really threaten Atalanta.
It's true. No, absolutely. They are defensively quite resolute, and they scored very early, Atalanta, which hasn't been the case at all this season, because typically their goals come between the last 15 minutes of the first half and the first 15 minutes of the second half.
Okay.
So it's an interesting little statistic.
Yeah. Sorry. Como did threaten at one point. Carnesecchi, brilliant save.
On Da Cunha. What a save that was.
Yep.
That was a lovely save.
Really
he
good
ran
save.
out,
Brave
slid,
as well.
and very
Brave.
very brave. That was one of the saves of the week. Of course, I think Magnan takes the cake, but Carnesecchi and even Caprile definitely, and even Muric, man of Sassuolo.
Muric as well.
Yeah, he's really good.
Louise, it was a week, huh?
Absolutely. So just a bit of a tactical point to let you know how the game went. Atalanta aimed to dominate possession and to apply pressure through central areas. Como remained disciplined in their defensive structure, and they thwarted most of these attacks. Como focused on compact defending and quick transitions. They absorbed pressure well and exploited spaces on the counter-attack, which was very nice to see, with their very atypical wingers and the technical players all over the pitch. Literally everyone can play football. And most of the battle took place in midfield. In fact, it was an intense battle with both teams kind of trying to take control, while Atalanta's midfielders sought to especially dictate the tempo, and I think they had better success in doing so, to be honest with you.
Yeah, agreed. Nail on the head, bro.
But yes, it was a fun match. Big misses for Atalanta especially. But I think a draw was a fair
better
result.
at that point.
Lookman should have done better. And I mean, Sulaimanos chance, he literally beat the keeper. There's nothing he can do with that. Perrone was a rabid dog sliding in there. But Lookman should have definitely done better, man.
Absolutely.
It was very unlike him.
He
But
hit
I
the
guess
target there, right?
you can apply the same point that I made about Leao, right? That he maybe isn't as match sharp.
Yeah.
And that in a game where he would have had many games under his belt, many minutes under his belt, he would have done better in a situation like that.
Absolutely. I am surprised that they didn't go for a 2 up top with Lookman or go for Kristovic up top with Lookman playing either instead of Samardzic or instead of Sulemana. But to be fair, man, I've been enjoying Samardzic. I feel like he's really come out of his shell at Atalanta.
This week especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is a very talented player. I mean, he hasn't really shown it with Atalanta. Even under Gasperini, he was barely getting any minutes, right?
Yeah.
He was getting like 7 minutes, 10 minutes at the end of the game at most. However, yes, now he seems to be, I don't know, livelier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We'll see if it's a trend that continues or if it's just a purple patch for him. But we remember him at Udinese, and he was a very talented player. He was by far the best player on that team.
Yes.
But yes, regarding this game, I don't think there's much else to mention.
Congrats to Atalanta for remaining undefeated. One of the two teams. It's them and Juve at the moment.
Absolutely, and they are in total contention for a top 4 finish. Of course, it's still early, but they're right there. And many people who had written Atalanta off might be kicking themselves. Now give me 1 minute while I kick myself.
You had them in 10th.
I had them in 10th, bro.
10th.
Terrible, yes.
To be fair, I had Lazio in 10th, which is seeming likely.
Which is possible. Huh?
Speaking of, next up, Lazio 3, Torino 3. This was Baroni facing his old team. Beef.
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 Did you see the
Beef.
interview?
I did see the interview. Baroni lost his shit
He
there because
did,
there's
he did.
like some journalists laughing at something
Some
he
journalists
said.
laughed and he took it badly. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have the video. We'll pull it up after.
There are injuries for this Lazio side and absentees. Guendouzi, Zaccagni, Rovella, Delebashiru, Marusic, Pellegrini, Gigot, all unavailable. Whereas for Torino, it's Anjorin, Ilic, Ismaili, and Shores. Okay. Lazio were
rhythm,
coming
bro.
off
You got me
victory.
grooving over here.
Lazio have had a really mixed bag this season so far. That's 3 defeats for them, 2 victories, sorry, and now the draw against Torino, whilst Torino also have 2 victories, 3 losses, and 2 draws, so they're exactly identical in that sense. 4-2-3-1 formation for Sarri's men. Provedel in goal, backline of Nun Tavares, Romagnoli, Hila, and Hisai. Basic and Cataldi in the double pivot. Pedro out on the left, Cancelleri out on the right, and Dia playing behind Valentin Castellanos. For Torino, it was a 3-5-2 formation with Israel in goal. Backline of Tamez, Maripan, and Coco. Pedersen on the right, Lazaro on the left, with a midfield trio of Cassidy, Aslani, and Vlasic, with Ingonj and Giovanni Simeone starting up front together. Giovanni Simeone did open the scoring in the 16th minute to make it 1-0 after Provedel saved Pedersen's shot, spilled Pedersen's shot really, and Simeone tapped it in. I believe that's his second goal at the Olimpico this season because he was the guy to score against Roma. In the 25th minute, Cancelleri made it 1-1. He pounced on a Pedro launch. He beat Lazaro and smashed the ball in from outside of the box. That was my goal of the week, guys. It was an absolute banger. In the 40th minute, rinse and repeat. Another long ball. This time it was from Basic, a long ball to Cancelleri. Cancelleri so raw the way that he runs with the ball, mistouches it once, heads the ball down to the ground to try to salvage it. Ronaldo chops in and just slots it underneath the keeper to make it 2-1. Same result really. So Lazio head into the break leading 2-1. 73rd minute, however, the substitutions of Baroni worked as Nkunku, substituting Nkunku's cut back to substitute Adams, rifled into the top corner with his first touch, and it's 2-2. You're almost tempted to bet no more goals in this game at this point. You're like, okay, both teams are going to try salvage themselves. But 93rd minute, Coco gets a goal for Torino. He headed home in a quite a messy corner kick situation, but Coco managed to get the ball over the line over there. 93rd minute, scenes, what a victory at the Olimpico. Moments later, Dembele tries to shield the ball out of play next to his own box for Torino. He gets absolutely robbed by Noslin. Coco was running back and he absolutely clarted him. Penalty. VAR chaos, a massive brawl erupts, everyone pushing each other, everyone screaming in each other's faces. Penalty takes place in the 103rd minute. Cataldi steps up to take his first penalty ever in his career in the 103rd minute. And a Stadio Olimpico against Torino in a 3-2 situation. He buries it and pandemonium. And it is 3-3. These games are always the hardest to try to analyze because they're so end to end. But for me, it boils down to this one fundamental problem, which is Lazio have their injuries at the moment, and even without those injuries, they're struggling to impose anything in a game. Especially against tough opponents. I mean, their victories pretty much this season came against Verona and Genoa. They lost to Sassuolo, they lost to Como, they lost to Roma, and now they drew to Torino. And now they have injuries on top of that. And not only that, but the way they let the game get away from them, it feels to me that they're always chasing the game. And I feel like Torino have a similar problem over there where they leak goals completely. They take the lead in the 93rd minute and then lose the lead that's in such a silly manner from two guys just completely fucking up. I think both teams essentially have the same problem where they can definitely find a goal. They can in most cases, but defensively both need so much work.
It
man.
felt like Baroni was managing both teams.
literally, literally, bro, literally.
Yeah, it was so end to end and so open. And to be honest, Lazio's goals mostly came through individual brilliance and through transitions, right? Counter attacks.
Through Sarri's insistence on quick transitions and vertical passes. Literally. Football.
That Pedro pass was beautiful, and even Buzic got himself an assist. Buzic has impressed me. Yeah? He spent over a year sidelined and has suddenly come into favor over Belayan. While Della Bashiru has been dropped from the squad list. Of course, he's also injured.
Yeah, I thought
he's doing very well.
I thought Basic and Catal did a good job. Big boots to fill, man, with Guendouzi and Rovella.
Yeah, absolutely. So, judging by how thin their squad is and how many injuries and unavailable players they have, I think that there were many positives in this game for Lazio. I think that Cancellieri's explosion is great. I mean, who would have ever thought that he would do something like this, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, we saw in pre-season he was playing very well, but the way he started the season here, he looked so
out of
timid.
depth.
He looked timid. He looked almost like the occasion was always too big for him. But these two goals were the complete opposite of that. It's a player who's extremely confident, and a player with the hunger and technical ability to pull off such complicated maneuvers, man. Just to chop and pull away from two defenders like that, and then you're either going to have to beat them again or you're going to have to curl it past them, and you manage to curl it like that. I mean, those goals were absolutely unbelievable. Even, like you said, man, he heads the ball to the ground while running. You know,
how raw,
like,
it's so raw. It reminds me of Zaniolo and Chiesa when they were coming up, that kind of... Not saying he's going to reach... Well, not that they've reached
the aggressive
heights.
dribbling style. Like, I don't know how to explain it. But yeah. That's it.
Yeah, completely. And if you can sort out that right-hand side issue for them, it would be great. But you mentioned, obviously, Lazio are capable of scoring goals, and they scored goals. Keep in mind, this was without Zaccagni on the pitch. Who everyone says that they're Zaccagni reliant, but I think with a manager like Sarri, if there's one thing you can do, it's you can create opportunities. It'll seem like there isn't an opportunity, and then one forward pass, and if you've got the right runners in behind, like in this case Cancellieri, then you can absolutely score because the manager has that much influence on the team. I thought you said there were positives for Lazio. I thought there were way more positives for Torino. Of course,
Also, yes.
they fumbled it, obviously, but I like the in-game management, man, of Baroni, and of course the, like I mentioned earlier, Shea Adams and Nkunku linked up. But that two, when he opted for the two up top with Simeone and Adams, it changed the dynamic completely, and it really caused new problems for Lazio, who were really struggling to keep up with these two guys. But then there was that collapse at the end, which, this is how football is a game of margins, man, because Adams moments before was denied by what they're calling a miracle save from Providel. Providel got a great save on Adams. And then they lofted the ball upfield, and then Coco fouled Noslin seconds later.
Yes,
So it was so marginal. Torino could have made it 4-2 over there, and instead it ends 3-3. Crazy, man. Crazy. They were in love with the Coco.
Yes, for a split second.
Yeah.
A brief
And then
30 seconds as
and then he got the low or whatever they say.
Bro,
in that song.
that foul was comical.
It's comical.
Great spin by Noslin, who
Yes,
seemed to be
yes.
out of favour with Sarri, because with such a thin squad and Castellanos and Dia not really performing consistently, you'd expect to see Noslin, because he's very versatile as well. You can play him as a striker, behind the striker, on the right, on the left,
And
whatever.
he's really sweet as well.
He's a sweet
He seems
guy.
really
seems,
sweet.
seems like it, at least.
Sorry, I'm going to go back to this, but I just felt like Torino were the better team. I don't think anyone deserved to win or lose the game, but I thought for the most part, Torino outplayed Lazio.
They definitely
for
had more
long
dangerous
spells.
chances, clearer chances as well. I mean, Lazio's goals, two of them, absolute individual brilliance, right? So, and the other one, a penalty at the end, that was a gift.
Exactly.
So yes, they definitely did better to put themselves in situations to score.
Look, Lazio just need to get these injuries sorted, and I think they'll have a lot more to offer, but it has been an incredibly limp start for them, and I think, to be honest, this game sums it up. I won't be too critical because of the injuries, but Torino are an unpredictable team, so I'll end this there. I won't give any more analysis.
Also, shout out to Providel, who made some saves.
Yes, it's true. It's true.
He's improving a bit, because there was a point where it almost seemed like every shot that Lazio conceded was a goal.
Yeah.
So nice to see him pulling off some saves.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We can move on
to... You got this, bro. You got this.
Hellas Sassuolo.
Ooh.
Is it? Yes, it is. Okay. So Hellas Sassuolo. Yes. The game that will see the segment, the Indonesian YouTube comment section at the end of the episode. Do stay tuned for that, because Jay Itzes was the man who played the long ball to Pinamonti before Sassuolo won their penalty. So the comment section was absolutely insane. Stay tuned for that. For Hellas Verona, it was Montepo in goal in their 3-1-4-2 formation, a bit of a weird formation, with Nunez, Nelson and Freze at the back. Gagliardini marshalling the defense by playing right in front of them. Then a flat four of Belgali, Serdar, Bernadette and Bradaric. And the striking partnership, this is an infamous attack, Giovane and Orban.
Oh, I mean,
Mostly because of Orban.
That is infamous.
Orban, Madonna. Nick, pull up the picture of Orban at the Duomo. I sent it on the chat. It's just, he's so drippy. For Sassuolo, it was Muric in goal, who got a 10 on SofaScore.
Jesus.
I don't often see this.
Who is he? Levi Yashin, bro.
Yeah. Doig, Muharemovic, Itzes and Valukovic were at the back for Sassuolo. Kone, Matic and Vranks in the middle, with Volpato on the right, Loriente on the left and Pinamonti starting up front. Now, as you can see behind us right now, there's Gift Orban standing in front of the Duomo, looking extremely dripped out. That's
cool,
an outfit.
man.
Would you rock that? Is that your style?
I see the image again, but probably not.
No?
Probably not, no.
It's
no.
it's very skater boy. Would you say it's skater boy, Nick?
I need to see it.
It's very modern. Very, very modern. And almost like the kind of, not vintage, but
I'll translate for Nick, don't worry, listeners.
I have no idea what to call it. It's kind of just like modern.
Look,
he's
I'm
calling it
looking-
modern, kind of vintagey, modern kind of style. It's
I'm
very
looking at
90s.
it.
I would call that 90s.
I'm looking at it. And I don't like the text on the pants.
Why?
What does it even say? Naughty desire.
Naughty desire.
Butty
And his
desire.
Johnson in between.
That is Johnson in between. Butty Johnson desire. No, not for me, but he rocks it.
Yeah, he looks cool. Imagine
Mhm.
going to the Duomo and there's Gift Orban standing around doing a photo shoot.
I tell him hello, Gift Orban.
Hello, Gift.
Hello, Gift.
I do not support Juve, and therefore I don't
I
hate
love you. Exactly. I love you. I adore you.
Yeah. So the game commenced with both teams being super cautious, very cagey affair. The first half was very balanced for that reason. Sassuolo had a slight possession advantage, but they've struggled to break down Verona's defense, which has been very good this season. Of course, Nunez, Nilsson, and Freze have all played very well so far. Hellas were awarded a penalty in the first half, but it was overturned after a foul on Muric.
Mm.
It hadn't been seen yet, but it was quite clear. And then the match's pivotal moment occurred in the second half when Pinamonti's cross into the box saw a penalty being given away. And it was Pinamonti himself who stepped up to take this penalty. He actually went central. And it's weird, he took it with the instep, with the inside of his foot, and shot centrally. The keeper saved it, but parried it right back into the path of Pinamonti, who scored the rebound. It was a lovely long ball by Jay Itzes to set up the move before Fadera was dropped in the box.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Close Fadera.
During this game, Bradaric and Montepo almost scored the most comical own goal you would have ever seen, as the ball deflected off Bradaric, hit the post, hit Montepo, and almost went into the back of the net. It was hilarious, absolutely hilarious. Yes. So regarding the approach this game, Verona's approach was on defensive solidity, of course, and quick transitions. I thought Serdar had a very good game. I thought Gagliardini was pivotal as well in disrupting Sassuolo's rhythm. Sassuolo aim to control possession, as they typically always do, and exploit wide areas. Their pressing game was very good, especially in the second half, and it led to the penalty opportunity and the reason why they won by such a fine margin. Yeah. Any points, brother?
Basically, I don't think this victory should be understated for Sassuolo. Verona's not an easy stadium to go to, and that's Sassuolo's second victory in a row, which is key, and especially after the slow start that they had, they're gaining some momentum now. They're looking good against the top teams as well, and this was a game without Berardi, obviously, which is always that growing pains. Berardi is that guy with the Serie A experience, so they had to figure it out for themselves, and I think they showed a really mature performance, which over the years we're used to Sassuolo being very leaky defensively, and you won't often see them win a game 1-0 away from home. So I think there's a lot of growth over there, and I think Grosso has instilled this clear identity for Sassuolo and how they want to play their football. A bit disappointed in Verona in this game, because I thought they've looked really good, they've looked dangerous, but there was that something missing, and I think this Giovanni Gift Orban thing can work if they're counter-attacking or if they're breaking lines or something like that, but there is a lack of target man in their team which should be addressed as well.
Interesting. However, it's true that they don't have an out-and-out 9, but Orban and Giovanni have had so many opportunities, man, and they've been so wasteful that you can't help but feel that things will get better for them.
Yeah.
Because they are creating chances, and you watch their games and you think this is a dangerous team. These are players who are quite potent. They look potent.
Absolutely, but they could both look a lot better with a Mosquera near them, for example, someone that can do the physical duties for them. And free up that responsibility to them.
Not quite sure the man would be Mosquera, because
what
Mosquera leaves a lot to be desired, in my opinion, as in his overall play.
Yeah, fair enough. Or someone of the likes.
Yeah, of the mold. I get that. So Hellas, along with Genoa, Pisa, and Fiorentina, are the only teams searching for their first league victory still.
Who, sorry?
So it's Hellas, Genoa, Pisa, and Fiorentina. Fiorentina in terrible company.
Oh, wow. Verona haven't won a game
They haven't won a game yet, no.
Oh, wow. They look much better than what the results have been then.
They're on 0 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses. And they've only scored 2 goals, man. That's unbelievable, to be honest.
Wah, wah, wah.
Like Genoa have outscored them, now even Pisa. That's
One
bizarre.
of half their goals came against Juve. How fun.
What a stat.
They did have quite a tough start to the season, of course. They played Udinese, Lazio, Cremonese, Juve, Roma, Sassuolo. Times will get better for Verona, I'm sure, because
Yeah.
they've looked quite decent, man.
Yeah. Do you know when the last time Sassuolo scored 3 goals in Serie A was?
Yes, against Milan when Berardi scored a hat-trick. And they won
It was-
5-2
No, it was a 3-3 match in 2024.
against
It was
Milan.
against Milan, but that's not the game Berardi scored. That was another occasion where
Okay.
they destroyed Milan.
Okay.
It's just at 10.
It's
They,
obviously against
it's obviously against
though,
Milan
right?
or Inter. It's always the case.
Uh-huh.
They love smashing the teams from Milan. But yes, lovely victory for Sassuolo. Lovely victory for Indonesia. And a disappointing loss for Hellas Verona.
Next up, we've got Bologna for Pisa 0. Great result for Bologna after their midweek draw to Freiburg. A jolly good rogering of Pisa is exactly what they needed when they got back, especially after their disappointing draw to Lecce. Pisa still have yet to win a single game. 4-2-3-1 formation for Italiano's men. Skorupsk in goal with a backline of Miranda, Lukumi and Zortea. Double pivot of Freuler and Moro, Cambiaghi out on the left, Orsolini out on the right, and Odgaard playing behind Dallinga. A 3-5-2 formation for Gilardino's men. Semper in goal, backline of Canestrelli, Caracciolo and Bonafanti. Toure on the right, Leris on the left, and a midfield three of Vural, Marin and Akinsan Miro, with Inzola and Tramoni starting up front together. 24th minute, Cambiaghi opened the scoring. It was a brilliant finish from the middle after a flowing move involving Orsolini and Dallinga. Great work by Orsolini over here. That's his first Serie A goal of the season. 36th minute, Toure got himself a straight red card. He fucked up and fouled Cambiaghi as a last man, so he gave the ball away to Cambiaghi and then dragged him down to the ground. Got an instant red card. We've heard managers say, I'd rather I concede in that area, and we spoke about it after Stupinian's red card against Napoli, but whatever.
Because that's match set and done. 35 minutes in, I mean, you're going a man down, you're already losing. And then just to make matters worse, of course.
Moro scores the free kick.
Exactly.
So it's 2-0. The game, they're down to 10 men. Game is essentially sealed. But 38th minute, Orsolini made it 3-0. Cambiaghi squared a perfect pass to him, and he finished with one touch. And in the 53rd minute, Odgaard got his name to the score sheet. It was a long-range strike that took a deflection and wrong-footed Semper. Bologna firmly in control over there for the majority of the second half, and then Bologna just managed the game, bringing off all 4 of their goal scorers around midway through. Rowe created some chances but was unable to score, but that was match set for Bologna. Nothing really left to state.
One of those games where you fall behind and then you get a man sent off and you concede from that situation. Those are the worst games, and there's no coming back from that.
Exactly.
Ever. Morally, it kills you psychologically.
And that's not what Pisa needed at all. Pisa have been the team so far that gave most teams a match. You know what I mean? They battle it out, but they got absolutely blown out of the water over here, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't their day at all. The red card in the 36th minute. It's the worst thing that can happen, really. I was impressed by Cambiaghi. He got a goal before the red card. He drew the foul that got the red card. He
created a good chance for Dallinga in the opening few minutes as well. He's a very talented and techie little player.
He is, man.
hard-working as well.
He is.
Yeah.
And that left-hand side, like I always say, they lost Dan and Doy. Cambiaghi's coming out of his shell. They have Jonathan Rowe. They still have Benji Dominguez, who hasn't really gotten many minutes. They're quite stacked in the wing departments. I still think that they're going to feel the loss of Ndoye because Ndoye was so direct. And I think Rowe is probably the direct plug-and-play, stylistically replacement of Ndoye. But Cambiaghi can bring something different. I think Cambiaghi is that little bit more intelligent and links up with players a bit more. He won't go on the same marauding runs as Jonathan Rowe, but Cambiaghi is very smart in that way, and he has a nice little confidence boost after Gattuso called him up due to Politano's injury.
Absolutely, yes. not a very warm welcome for Gilardino at Bologna. He was a former player. So interesting to see that. Also, I don't know, this is just a random observation that I've made during the week.
I love these.
The amount of foul throws that aren't given.
Man.
The third goal in this game was a foul throw. Look at this.
So
I know that the viewers can't see it because we don't have the licensing, but you have a leg literally up in the air in the highlights after the free kick, after
Let me
Moro's
see.
free kick.
let me
So
see.
we're talking about
Foul throw.
1 minute in. Foul throw.
Foul
He's got a leg
throw.
off the ground, and this leads to a goal. Literally, that's a bloody foul.
And then you see, bro, in the Prem,
Yeah.
they're so strict about it. And in the Prem, every team has a long throw routine. It's so common in the Prem, man.
It's a great
It's
tactic,
a cheat
man.
code.
Yeah,
If you have someone that can throw a ball far and you're not putting them behind throw-ins, you're stupid.
yeah,
Like, what are you doing? And they all have a player that can do it. I promise, because these guys are athletes.
Cremonese get Baschirotto on throw-ins, man.
Jeez, can you imagine, bro? It's
imagine?
because you can go for a goal. You just go for a goal. Everyone's crowding the keeper,
Yeah.
and you create
Just throw
havoc,
it at
man.
the keeper as hard as
Imagine
you can.
every throw-in is a goal-scoring opportunity. It's
Yeah.
super underrated, man.
Absolutely.
I mean, not too many points
we can-
from
we
this
can
game,
move
but
on.
but you have a point on Emil Holm.
Ah,
Because
yes.
you found out this
Jesus, you would have
crazy thing,
forgotten.
and if
Uh.
we've got anyone in medicine or we've got physiotherapists or doctors or anyone that's listening, please explain this to us, man.
So Holm spoke to the Swedish media recently and said that he was sent to the dentist in Italy to remove a wisdom tooth, and this apparently would cure his recurring hamstring problem. The doctor said that there is literally a correlation between the two and that it will be solved. And I thought, this is bizarre yet familiar. Did some digging. Ali Sissokko's transfer to Milan in June 2009 had collapsed because of dental issues when he failed a second medical. Apparently, the club doctors expressed concerns that Sissokko's dental problems could lead to muscle injuries, causing the deal to be put on hold and then eventually completely collapse. And he was transferred to Lyon after that.
Yes, and the reason I keep being late to work is because I have a hemorrhoid. You know, like what, man? Like what? How are they correlated, man? It's not affecting how I drive.
I was
well, is
worried
it?
I didn't understand that at first.
It's just a bizarre connection.
Yes,
Like why is this happening? I have a hemorrhoid. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't have a
fair.
hemorrhoid, by the way.
Uh-huh,
I've had a hemorrhoid, but
Go on, but tell us more about it.
we broke up.
You broke up?
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Because everyone, I'm gonna do it on the pod. Fuck it,
What's this?
because everyone at work.
This
asks
is
me,
Matt
like,
speaking, not Jake.
Is does the hemorrhoid like hang out and, like and stuff like that? I'm like, no, the hemorrhoid. This is my hemorrhoid, okay? Just a curious little
For
thing.
those of you listening, he hid his face and then revealed it. It's peekaboo, essentially.
Yes.
Yes.
Buffon's son
Ashbin.
made his debut 30 years after his father made his debut.
Yes,
Huge
and
stuff.
Oh, is he a goalkeeper?
No.
Oh, is he Italian? No.
Where's he from then? Because
His-
Buffon's thing is foreign, no?
Yeah, Buffon's thing is indeed foreign.
On Pisa nationality. Let's have a look.
Yeah,
Where's
so
Buffon
this
from?
is Louis Thomas Buffon. And
He opted to play for the Czech Republic.
Interesting.
Okay, he must be really good then. He chose to play for Czech Republic. No, excited to see more of him. There's a lot of heritage, a lot of kids of important people playing this season. Buffon, Mussolini. All right, that's enough banter. On to the next,
That's
brother.
enough banter for now. Actually, it's not enough
For
banter
now.
because the next game is Udinese
Oh my
Cagliari.
God, oh my
The most
God.
banterous game of the week. Let's just get straight to the lineups for Udinese. It was Sava in goal with Golio Cizze, Cabasele and Sole at the back, Zanoli and Camara on the flanks with Pietrovski, Karlstrom and Atta in the middle, Zaniolo and Davis up front.
Attaboy.
As for Cagliari, they mirrored their formation with Caprile in goal. Ober, Yerimina and Pedro at the back, with Palestra on the right, Felici on the left, Folarin, Choprati and Deola in the middle, with Borelli and Esposito starting up front. I hate this rolling the R thing, I can't do it, bro. Borelli. Mina got injured, and that's a massive loss for Cagliari.
Huge.
We'll see what the situation is with him, but when he went off, of course, they did look way shakier at the back. So Cagliari took the lead in the 25th minute through Borelli, actually, who capitalized on a defensive lapse by Udinese to slot the ball past Sava, and then he dedicated his celebration to Il Gallo Bellotti.
Yes, and he took it a step too far, I feel.
Why?
Because he continued to imitate Bellotti throughout the game, and he got an injury.
Oh my
So,
God, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true, he did take it too far. Sometimes, like Heath Ledger,
Oh my God.
what, he became the Joker, no? Isn't that the whole
Yes,
thing?
yes. And he friggin' died, the dog.
Yeah, yeah.
Jeez. That got dark.
No
really
idea
quick.
that was controversial. Moving on. Udinese responded in the 58th minute when Cabasele tapped in from a corner kick. It was a bit of a clumsy goal, which saw Caprile rooted to a spot. He wasn't expecting to go through so many bodies. It was technically an assist by Kamara, and it was a particularly powerful moment because Cabasele burst into tears shortly after and covered his face and pointed to the heavens. Turns out he revealed later on that his grandmother, had actually passed away earlier in the week.
Yeah.
And it was
beautiful
a very
moment.
beautiful moment. You can see he was like
emotional.
full on crying, man, like straight up. And
Yes,
it's good to see men crying. Man.
Yes,
and I say
man.
this as a man who doesn't cry often because of my damage that I have psychologically. But here we have a picture of. Well, it's on the screen behind me already. Nice, Nick. Nick, you're the
Jake's
man.
taking it back to
taking back
1932.
Yeah, 1932, where they had iPads.
Look at my iPad.
I've got it here on my iPad.
Look here, see? It's my iPad.
Wait one moment, let me find it on my iPad. Yes, okay, that's enough.
Okay.
So both teams had opportunities to secure a winner later on, but what followed was a complete clown fiesta. Cue the music. So Zaniolo and Atta had the post. Atta had the deflected shot almost go in. There was a great save by Caprile. Zaniolo had the miss of the season after Deola slipped and Davis cut it back, at least until the next chance where Bayo had the miss of the season. It was 1-on-1. It was actually Davis who was 1-on-1. He cut back for Bayo, and Bayo had an empty net, and he eventually missed the target. Granted, there was a bit of a deflection with the defender, so maybe he didn't have much time to think or to tee himself up. He was caught a little bit off rhythm, and he ended up skying the shot.
Disastrous,
It was a shit
Disastrous.
show, man. To be honest, towards
Him
the
and
end,
Zaniolo.
it just became extremely unserious, this game. So I had Sarah's family over for this one, as in it was on. They weren't over to watch this game; it just happened to be on.
No, they were over to
Yeah.
watch this
And-
Clash of Titans.
And I'm sad they're watching it, and Sarah's brother isn't a big football fan, so he's just watching it, and I'm finding it difficult to kind of. Like he's asking me, how the hell did they miss? Is this common that they miss so many chances? No, quite frankly, it isn't. It's bizarre that you have so many grievous errors in one match.
Mhm.
Yeah. What do you make of the match fixing claims in the comment section on YouTube? I don't hold them to
wouldn't, I
a higher
wouldn't.
regard,
No,
a series of unfortunate events.
I have seen things that are way clearer when it comes to match fixing than that, because you can see where that margin of error is. You could see where they fucked up, like the quick reaction technically needed for Bayo, and as you described, and it's Zaniolo's sharpness, right? Zaniolo, you're gonna say you're that confident that Zaniolo's gonna score that chance, that if he doesn't, it's because he's paid and he's match fixing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bet my house on Zaniolo scoring that goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't take them seriously. I've seen other things done by goalkeepers and centre backs clearly playing people onside where they have time to think and they almost
Pointless yellows, that's match
pointless
fucking
yellows
fixing.
in the 92nd minute. That's match fixing. It's not this blatant like.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
think
it's
I
true.
could. I'm no
could
expert
be,
on match fixing.
but I wouldn't go as far as to say it is. However, there was a match where Mazziello allowed a goal. Mazziello was actually was guilty of of match fixing. You remember him at Atalanta, Maziello. Look into that. It's crazy.
Interesting.
But yeah, so yes, this was a 1-1 draw. Both teams deserve to lose, quite frankly. So that's it. We can move on.
You saw Rooney Aitch's reaction.
I saw
to
Rooney
the-
Aitch's
to-
reaction.
to the misses,
And the
man.
commentator, how on earth? That's
You
pretty
will-
much-
How does that commentator sound? What's
how
his
on,
name?
it's the kind of Muriel. Yes, Muriel.
Absolute Muriel.
Exactly. Who is he, bro?
This is my last game. I'm not tweaking. Yes, this is my last
You're
game.
definitely not tweaking. But I'm gonna find the bit of commentary. I wonder if we're allowed to show just a snippet of audio. Do you think so? Yes, alright. Let's do it.
Nick's like, fuck yeah, man.
Nick's like, yeah, bruh. So listen to the commentator here.
Slip again, and this could let in Udinese. This is Keenan Davis with a glorious opportunity to win it. Oh, how on earth did the ball stay out? Udinese.
How on earth? Really loaded it up.
It wasn't a pass, by the way. I fucked that up. It was
It's
a shot.
okay,
It was a
no.
rebound. The defender went to clear it, and then Bayo missed the
Look at
chance from there.
Caprile's celebration.
Yeah,
man.
Caprile
He
went
pulled-
nuts.
He pulled
He put off the
mental
save on Davis.
there,
That's
bro.
an amazing save. Yeah.
Holy guacamole,
That's a
bro.
bad miss.
Like
That's
that's not match fix. He was not expecting to
yeah,
kick.
yeah.
He was still running. Like he
It's
barely
true.
shot.
Unbelievable.
Parma 0, Lecce 1. Cuesta versus Di Francesco.
Ooh, we've got a voicey for this one.
Oh yes, we do. Let me go through the bullshit.
Yeah.
Let's just first win after Parma's first win. Amazing stuff. Everyone's winning. 3-5-2 formation for Parma. Suzuki in goal. Backline of Indai, Circati and Del Prato. Valerio on the left. He went off injured, unfortunately. And maybe Tyson can tell me how to pronounce this guy's name, man. Bridgegi on the right with a midfield three of Bernabe, Keita and Sorensen, and a front two of Cutrone and Pellegrino. For Lecce, it was a 4-3-3 formation. Vladimir Falcone in goal. Backline of Vega, Gaspar, Gabriel and Gallo. Midfield three of Koulibaly, Ramadani and Berisha. And Pierotti and Sotil were flanking Stulic. In the 38th minute, Sotil scored the only goal of the game. He delivered an in-swinging cross, low, went through absolutely everyone. Suzuki didn't see it coming and he just let it roll into the far corner. I mean, suspect defending, suspect goalkeeping.
Oh, Nana, what's my name?
He did literally look like Onana in that case. In the 48th minute, Cutrone shot from the edge of the box that went just wide. Parma pressed forward for an equalizer but failed to break through. Between the 47th minute to the 54th minute, Lecce survived a series of Parma attacks, including Falcone making a fingertip save from Del Prato. And even Thiago Gabriel blocked another attempt really well.
I'm a big fan of this Gabriel.
I
he
like
contributes
Gabriel,
offensively as well. He's good.
I like Gabriel.
Yeah.
And then there were 8 minutes of added time, but Lecce managed to withstand Parma's pressure. Parma just going forward, controlling the game, going forward, nothing doing. But I am sure that our man Tyson, a different Tyson to the Napoli Tyson we listened to last time.
Norbert made a joke. He said that your name needs to be Tyson to be able to speak on this podcast.
Fuck yes, correct,
Fuck
correct,
yes, yes.
Norbert.
So if your name is Tyson, become a patron.
Exactly, $3.99 a month. Anyway,
Yeah.
take it away, Tice. He's taking it.
He's taking it. This is not your speaker dying.
This is Tyson taking it. Away. Take it away, Tyson.
Jake, Matt, Spothead family. This is Tyson T, the one and only Parma fan in the Spothead family, although I'm sure there are dozens others that listen to the Serie Spotlight podcast. Join the Patreon, mix it up in the Discord. Jake, Matt, I just expect a 1% commission on any Parma fans that join as a result of this analysis that I'm about to bring you. This is going to be an extremely amateur analysis of today's Parma versus Lecce match. What can I say? It was a very boring, very painful match. Very boring is what I'm becoming accustomed to seeing as someone that watches all of the Parma matches. But honestly, there's not too much to say about today's match. Basically, Suzuki had a major brain fart, let a cross in that the Lecce player, excuse me, I forget his name, Sotil, that the Lecce player actually missed his striker on, and the cross just kind of rolled into the goal. Just now realizing brain fart is probably an American expression. For the international audience, which Serie Spotlight has, a brain fart is just like falling asleep on the job, that type of thing. Other than that one event, it was mostly Parma kicking the ball back and forth in the midfield. Not too much action. And the ref mercifully blew the whistle a few seconds early before the match was actually supposed to end. But on a broader scale, talking Parma in general, Cuesta's Parma. This guy's got to go. I am several hours after the match. I didn't want to record this and have it be a therapy session for Tyson T. But Cuesta has to go. They have no open play goals in 6 Serie A matches and did not have an open play goal against a Serie B team in the Coppa. Today we generated 0.27 open play XG. So, pretty difficult to watch. Our only hope is Pellegrino getting ahead on a corner. But to get corners, you have to actually be somewhat threatening. Parma today, about as threatening as someone that brought a dildo to a sword fight. The root of the problem, in my amateur opinion, is that we've gone to an over-reliance on analytics. For a minnow team like Parma, which I support, you have to, to some degree rely on analytics because you need to hit on players from, smaller leagues. The bigger players aren't going to sign at Parma. Totally understand that. But you can't go full analytics nerd in your choice of manager. And that seems to be what we did. We went fully in on analytics, fully in on set piece goals. But again, you have to occasionally threaten to get, a set piece to get a corner. Basically, it's going to be a long year for Tyson T. Going to be a lot of very stressful, 1-0s and 0-0s and 1-1 draws in my future and in Parma fans' future. I know there are dozens of us. And we will have, a high relegation risk. But let's hope we stay up. And boys, thanks for the opportunity to send you this little voice note. Hopefully I wasn't, too much, having my own therapy session here. But Forza Parma, and everyone enjoy the football. Thanks.
What a guy.
What a guy. I love him, man.
What a guy.
I love
Excellent
him.
beard
I
as
love
well.
him. He does have an excellent beard, yes, from the photo.
Yeah, so I took some notes over here. So the first thing is that he mentioned that Parma are boring,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's true. He's right. Of course, in a game like this, you'd expect them to create more chances and to definitely have a better open play XG than what they had, especially with the players that they have. You know, I mean, they're not short on talent. You've got the likes of Bernabe, Cutrone, Pellegrino, Valeri out wide. They can definitely create something. Even Almqvist on the bench.
But these are the games where you have to create.
You have
because
to. It's a direct relegation encounter.
Earlier in the season, where there were all the claims that Parma are playing Catenaccio against Juve, I'm like,
that's fine.
They fucking... It might be their best shout to play Catenaccio against Juve, but they're at home.
Yeah.
They're at home to a team that hasn't won a single game this season, yet they look like the worst team in the league. Parma were coming off their first win of the season, and they go for this brand of football that just sucks the life out of you. I completely get the frustration with Cuesta in that sense, because as a team, if you need to stay up, yes, you can't concede many goals, but you need to have some killer instinct. And that's typically the difference you see between 17th place and 18th place, is that little bit of killer instinct. Get the 3 points when you have to.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, to reflect this, you look at the average age of this Parma team, and it's 23 and a half years old.
Jeez.
They've got many a young player. The oldest player in their starting 11 was actually Patrick Cutrone at 27, followed by Valeri at 26. They're a very young team. Lecce aren't the oldest, but they have some experienced pieces like Falcone in goal, who's 30, Gaspar 28, Ramadani 29. You know, it's not, and they have a lot of Serie A experience in general overall, with Gallo, Sotil, Koulibaly, Berisha, etc. But yeah, I definitely think that your point stands, and Tyson's point also stands. The most concerning thing is that it's true, they have not had any open play goals. All their goals have come through set pieces, corners. Granted, I think Cutrone scored a tap-in, a rebound, but it was off a free kick so doesn't count as an open play goal. So yeah, definitely bringing a dildo to a sword fight. Right?
I've never heard that before, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
I'm glad I heard it here for the first time.
What I saw that Parma are trying to do, they're trying to continue with what Kivu did. Kivu prioritized set pieces. That's how they stayed up, essentially, when he came. Very different to what Pecchia had done. You remember Pecchia's Parma were playing beautiful football, but then at the expense of the results, right? I don't know. Cuesta, I think when you employ a 29-year-old manager, I think the plan would be to be patient with him and to try to give him some time, right? I don't think they expected him to hit the ground running.
I don't think you can sack a 29-year-old manager after 6 days. 6 games.
Yeah.
I get why they'd want him out, because imagine your team not creating any chances.
Yeah.
Banking on corners, because this is the Arsenal corner kick guy, whatever, and you don't get corners because you're not attacking. Like, it's definitely a frustration, and it's not sustainable. It's a good thing to have to your Arsenal, but it shouldn't be your whole bloody game plan, really. Their inability to score goals is concerning. They don't really get the ball into the box. I'd like to see Valeri more involved in the final third. I thought Bernabe had a crack, and and he tested Falcone really, really well. I think he should be doing more of that. And it just takes us back to the mercato that Parma had, right? You lose Bonni, you lose Dennis Mann, you lose, Leone, whatever.
Even that fullback man, Koulibaly, I liked him. I don't know why they let him go. Well, probably because he was bought, right? These teams sell whenever an offer comes in. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much that.
Yeah, I mean, well done Lecce. Well done Lecce, because they got the 3 points. It was a fucking sloppy goal that they got, and they had to deal with after the 38th minute. They had to deal with essentially defending Parma. Is it that great a task? I mean, it was a task, but they'll have harder days in the office. I think Lecce were gifted the first 3 points. Take nothing away from them. good ground for them to
Good
gain.
ground, and this is coming off a draw against Bologna, and now they play Sassuolo and then Udinese, so they can definitely ride this momentum. I think for them, the break came at a bad time.
I
They
think
want
so.
to continue riding this
I think
momentum.
so.
Some teams
I
need
think
the
so.
break, like Juve. Some teams, it fucks the momentum you've got going on. But
Yeah.
yes, I think we can move on to our segment, brother.
I completely agree.
Yes.
Wisdom with the wank. Do you have this week's open in front of you?
I do not. Do
Yeah.
you?
I don't, but I'm gonna put it out right now. We're always so
Yeah, we're always very
unserious. It's
prepared for this
crazy.
segment.
Listen, bro, we did cover Fiorentina Roma in this.
Yes,
in
of course
this-
we
Okay,
did,
okay, okay. Because for some reason, my game should have been lost, but your game was lost.
You guys fucked up the order, I realized.
Someone did,
Did
2
we-
games
did
in a
we?
row.
Probably when we took the break, but it's fine.
Uh-huh.
I've arranged yours.
Someone did 2 games in a row.
Have we? This has never happened before.
I
This
don't
is-
think we skipped a game. If we skipped a game, I'm gonna.
I highly doubt it.
I'll leave that at that.
Bro, did we fucking skip?
No, I think we did 2 in. I think you did 2 in a row. I think you did
I think I skipped it, bro.
Fiorentina Roma.
I think I skipped Fiorentina Roma.
No, I don't think so. We did it.
Okay.
We'll see. Now we'll see. Let's.
I don't recall doing this.
I don't recall you either.
Worst case, we do with Malaria.
We did.
I think we did. Worst case, we'll record them because fucking we'll
We
leave it at the end.
stitch
Or
it,
we
we
stitch
stitch
it
it
in.
in.
Fuck it.
So we didn't talk about Roma.
No.
Trying to remember. No, bro, we
no,
didn't.
we didn't.
We didn't.
Straight
We
up,
didn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, I am looking for.
The wisdom with the wank.
Yes.
Fucking hell. What a weird one.
So. Take it away, bro.
He's giving it to me. Okay. So here we have a quote from Italian footballer, as you can see behind me, Federico Bernardeschi. He says, "If I were gay, what does it matter?" Wisdom with the wank.
Wisdom with the wank.
Yeah. And he's fucking right, man. He's absolutely. What does it matter?
Doesn't matter who you love. It is the fact that you are capable of love. And you know what? I know what you're all thinking. I don't think Bernardeschi looks gay at all in that photo.
No.
I don't think he
That's
looks gay at all.
Yeah, and even if he did, what does it matter?
What does it matter?
Exactly.
If he's gay,
Yeah.
he's not. But
So what?
if he
You know?
was, doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Perotti of Roma literally harass El Shaarawy after a goal
Yes.
once. And, you know, that's pretty gay. Did that matter? No.
No.
No problem, man.
Wisdom with the wank.
And if you are one of those players who scribbles the pride flag off your arm, I don't like you.
I don't like you either.
No. We are allies here at Serie Spotlight.
Wisdom with the wank.
Wisdom with the wank. Now we can move on to our final segment, brother, as you can pull up the Indonesian national anthem for me.
I would love to.
Thank you very much.
Do you think Jay, it says, enjoys the Indonesian boat racing? Yes.
He must.
He must.
Surely. He must. For sure. Jay, it says, fire, fire, fire. It was worth staying up late watching Sassuolo. Full support for Jay and the team. Nice win, Sassuolo. Now praying Indonesia enters World Cup with Sassuolo player. Long ball with steady accuracy from Itzes started the penalty award. This victory very meaningful because Verona is customer of the relegation zone rivals. Last year Venice lost the competition with Verona. Very good point.
Great point.
Thank you, Sassuolo. You can still liven up the competition in Serie A. It says, is the best player is solid in defense. Serie A was suddenly invaded by fans from Indonesia, eager to see Jay It Says play. Honestly, long before Jay It Says arrived, I was still a Romanisti, always following Serie A every week. Good for you. Hopefully, the positive result of several Indonesian players playing in the Europe League will spread to the Indonesian national team. Hopefully, the most reward this year will be qualifying for the World Cup. Once again, the best football highlights in the world of football. Love Jay, it says. It says Il Capitano Indonesia. That's enough. Yes. Brilliant. Absolutely love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been your hosts, Matt
and Jake.
Nick, give us a scream. I wonder what we'll do next week because there's the international break. But whatever we do, see you there. Ciao.
If you like Serie A or have ever liked it in the past, it's a good opportunity for you to listen once a week and you'll get filled in.
In the football weekend, that's like the main dish. But then a few days later, you drop your episode and that's like the dessert. And the dessert is just perfect.
It's good, the cake.
It makes it feel like we're all sitting in a room together, just BSing with each other.
The atmosphere is fantastic.
I promise nobody will ask you to send boob pics.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
I love how you go into so much detail and show so much passion towards each and every team. Literally, no team is left undiscussed.
When I listen to you, it's like I'm talking to you in a pub. It's like I'm chatting to a friend and you're chatting to me.